that was talking about Coming at you live from your mama's booty hole, baby. It's the Bloib Lands blasting, drafting, kicking ass and draft show. Chug a beer.
Get down to that.
Yeah, man. God, that hurt. I haven't done that.
It's been a long time since you pulled out the meat.
Dude, it's been a long time. I was
freezer.
stuck in a freezer.
Take the
And then
meat
mashed
and
up
all
against a
out.
piece of chicken. Master Shake told me there was a carnivore in there. No damn carnivore.
I just love how you can remember the exact
The
run.
line,
Like,
yeah.
Dude, I haven't seen
that
it.
you haven't watched for 10 years.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I have problems making intimate relationships and like socializing with people, but I can remember a show that I haven't seen in 5 years. Throwaway lines that don't mean shit to anybody.
They mean a lot to me.
It means a lot to me, yeah.
That's all that matters. Right?
So yeah, for anybody that's watching along, got some guests here doing our little post-draft grading, full in-depth analysis. Buckle up. This is a 4-hour special.
Yeah.
Hello,
The business hours.
In the business hours.
And you are here with us later.
So, zero prep work other than moving my computer over here. So
We drank a little bit to prepare.
Speaking
this
of,
is true.
it's
Yeah.
time for a one-sip
One
review.
sip.
One sip review. Okay.
Now, we
all
said
right.
we were only doing IPAs, but today we're doing Rolling Rock Extra Pale.
Extra pale.
This is an EPA. Is that close?
It's
Right?
close enough.
EPA.
Right,
Yeah.
All right.
One sip. Everybody knows the rules.
Yeah.
One sip.
They're obviously not open or anything.
Not to mention, it's not like I haven't had like hundreds of these in my
Yeah.
lifetime.
One
That's
sip.
right. We did talk about, and we're going to start drinking beers that we haven't had before. So,
One sip, right?
yeah, one sip.
Everybody knows the rules.
So,
One sip.
Okay,
Everybody
one
knows.
sip.
it's a beer. It's a beer.
It's the equivalent of like a football pizza.
Okay, fair
Like you
enough.
could just come back to it over and over and over again all day long.
It has a purpose.
It does.
But its
Yeah.
purpose is not being in the business
Yeah.
hour one sip reviews.
Yeah. No.
If we're gonna use pizza as the scale here, I would say that this is like a notch below like Fox's Big Daddy.
I can get down with that.
Because like
So,
Fox's Big
wait,
Daddy's
one
the
worse.
pizza that nobody like really wants, but like if there's pizza there, you're like it could be worse.
Yeah,
It could be a lot worse.
I agree with that.
This
So-
could not be pizza. It was-
Yeah, well, and it's a lot. It's 21 slices for like $9.
Right. And this
So-
is 18 beers for 11. So
Yeah, exactly.
It
So-
is the same.
So like, if that sounds like I'm making it like bad, I'm not making it
No,
bad.
it's great.
I'm making a case for like it's good.
It has its purpose, and it gets a
Yeah.
solid 3.3
It does its
Out of
job.
10?
out of 10.
It does its job.
I got a special place in my heart for the Rolling Rock, so 4.2
All right,
from
fair
me.
enough.
Yeah, you know
Um,
what? I'm gonna say, yeah, right in between you guys, 4.0.
Rookie score.
All right.
It's a
NA
rookie
out of
score.
8 out of 10 from
N-
Cody.
NA.
Oh,
NA.
NA. I thought you said an
No
8.
rating.
Can't go even numbers, Jordan.
Sure, you can.
I will say this is definitely like right below the Fox's Big Daddy, but definitely like right above the
Any other Fox's
the,
pizza?
the Little Caesars Hot and Ready.
Yeah.
Depends on the
It's
hot
hot.
ready.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're
like
right.
No.
hot and Ready is like Keystone.
Yeah.
It's beer and it's cold.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like-
Yeah, that pizza
That's-
is beer and it is cold.
yeah, yeah.
But
like-
not all hot and readies are made the same. There are some that have been hot and ready for like 4 hours, and that one's not good.
One would argue that when you crack into a Keystone, you don't always know what you're getting there either.
That's true. Fair enough.
There's
Fair
a lot
enough.
of variability there. Like their statistical process controls are all out of whack. They don't have a good CPK.
I guarantee
Jesus
it.
Christ.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
All right, moving
Oh,
on.
man. Beer.
So, do we have any structure to this?
So I think we're looking at a screen. You know, we're looking at the draft
draft
night
board.
screen, and the first person who picked was.
Well, wait, we're
Bring
looking
the
at the
chowder.
picks, right?
So we're
Yeah.
not
We're
writing
gonna
the
talk.
names.
We're gonna talk about the picks. So like, let's get the first thing out of the like. Okay, we're talking about picks and who did good. Who's got the best name? Right?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Because that has nothing to do with what we said we were gonna do.
Can I go ahead and
I'm-
take one out right away?
Yeah, let's
Go
go.
for it.
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
Slummer.
Yeah. And Dylan's team.
And Dylan's team.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing
Wait.
is, there is some beauty
They're
to
good
not being
because
original.
they're simple.
Yeah.
But they're also kind of bad because they're simple.
Yeah,
But
so
Dylan's team, I would rank higher, even above Slimmer.
well, if it had an exclamation point, does it still have an exclamation point?
It does not.
Okay,
I checked it the other day.
He's not excited about it anymore.
I put Dylan's team above Slimmer's as far as the name goes. If Dylan's team wasn't the default that Yahoo gave him.
See?
Because when you
That's
sign,
really
Okay,
good.
so
He
he
took-
did just Yahoo
yeah.
default.
yeah,
Okay,
That's
fine.
really good.
I see
yeah.
that.
So if
So he
Dylan's
is
the one
number
that
16.
picked it,
Are we going with number 16? Dylan?
there goes the mic.
Drop the mic.
I got it.
So Dylan,
So we're starting
Thank
at the
you,
bottom.
Sir,
Yeah.
you are
Okay.
very welcome. See, there
now
was
we're here.
value in having me here.
Thank you, Drake. So yeah, Slemmer and Dylan's team, you are 16 and 15 respectively.
You put him at the bottom?
Yeah, absolutely.
The absolute bottom.
If Slemmer still had the exclamation point, I move him up 5 spots. How about that?
I think the
I could get down with
as
that.
a person with an exclamation point in their team name, I agree.
Okay.
I think I think it adds a lot of excitement, a lot of dynamicism.
You're happy to be here.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
happy to be here, and I'm happy to put you at number 14.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
See, that's cold. There's a lot of team names that I think I would like better if I understood them more. Like ultralight team, I don't feel like I have a good appreciation
It's
for
a
like
reference.
it's a reference. Yeah, I feel like I don't get the reference,
Yeah.
so I continually put that one at the bottom.
Yeah. So you're here. Explain
That's fine.
yourself.
I don't care. I can be at the bottom of the team names.
No,
And I
I
have to be at the bottom of something in this league.
that's true. That's a really good
Son
point.
of a bitch.
It's a Kanye West reference, so I'm sure I'm losing points as I speak.
No, dude.
There is
We
a
just
Kanye
lost a
West-
viewer.
Yeah.
There's a Kanye West song
Yeah, we
called
have.
Ultralight Beam,
Oh,
and
okay.
so I did an.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
No,
it an
I would've
illusion,
never-
an
An illusion.
allegory?
I would have never taken you to be a Kanye West fan.
Oh,
I'm a
dude.
huge Kanye West.
Dude,
fan.
look
That-
at his phone.
Yeah, that moves you
Sh-
up.
look at his phone.
Or down 1 spot, depending on how I'm feeling at the moment.
If you text Cody right now,
Yeah.
Kanye West will hold
Yeah,
your text
text me
message.
right now, so I'm doing
I don't have your number.
Exactly.
But Kanye West will deliver
See,
the text
Kanye
message.
holds up.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea if that's going to actually do
That's
shit for
really
that camera.
funny.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, he greets me
Yeah.
with all of my good news.
Now that I've seen it, I'm pretty sure I'm moving you down a spot. You get to be number 13.
No,
See, to me, 15 and 16 ultralight team and Big Wolf. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, shots fired!
I'll take 15.
Big whoop out of nowhere.
Okay, you know what? I take it back. I'm gonna move Big Wolf up because it's all caps.
That's what he's also excited to be.
Yeah, there's I forget about that. There's a lot of dynamicism there, so like I'll bump him up. I'll
See,
bump him up one.
I was going to have Slimmer and Dylan's team 15, 16, and 14 Smack My D's Boys just because it's a carryover.
Okay, because
That's-
he hasn't come
if
up with
it-
his own originality.
Yes, if it were still Mike in the league, that's my number 1 seed.
It's up there.
Because I fucking love that.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
a good
that's
one.
top
You're right.
5 for me.
It's not.
And
It's someone else's name now.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to put forth the first what's the word? The nomination for the Hall of Fame to be that name. Not any,
Smack-
not any
Smack-
particular
Smack-
player or
Smack-
anything like
I
that.
like
it.
But have it to be smacked by these boys.
yeah, it'll go right up there with Never Give Up.
Never give up
Ever.
ever.
Yeah, that's what That's what we were just talking about.
Right.
Mike was on point with his team names. He was
He's-
not on
he
point
kills
with
it.
winning at fantasy
Yeah.
football.
If you got bonus points every week for your team name,
Yeah.
Is
Mike
Mike
would've
the only
won a couple
player
games.
in this league's history that has been successfully able to change his team name every year?
Oh well, we could go with Bill Rudd, but
He was smacked by these boys both
He
years.
was smacked by these boys
Both
both
years
times.
that I have been in the
But-
league, he was smacked.
That's,
But
a,
he
that's a really
can-
good point.
He can
Bill
go
Rudd had a
down.
theme. He had a
Chronic,
theme. It was
yeah.
chronic every year.
He'd probably go down as the most names.
I would say so, yeah.
well, second most names would probably be Jordan.
Or Josh. I've been just for funs forever, dude.
Well, now
Just
you
for
have,
funs.
but before that you were
Knives.
switching it. Yeah,
I thought that was
Spectre?
in a separately. That was Jacob.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
That was Jacob.
yeah.
Anyway,
No, Jacob goes down in the Hall of Fame as the best name.
Sweatpants motor.
Sweatpants motor. I don't know. Bill Rudd's the first year we played. Bill Rudd's team name was Clown Penis Stop Fart.
Yeah, that was really good too. That was a really good one.
Oh man.
But I digress. Anyway,
this whole thing is a digression. But I mean, okay, so we're at 16. And 15, Slemmer and other name that is just named.
You guys are wrong. I think Dylan's team and Slimmer's higher, but anyway, go.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion.
That's right, because
I'm entitled to my wrong opinion.
Yeah.
No,
As I
you're
showed-
like we're all
as I showed
winners
in our
here.
Last video,
Yeah.
the rankings that I give are obviously right. I'm just gonna go ahead and write it
Obviously.
for all of us. But so we're putting in ultralight team because you did explain it, but it's about Kanye and
Yeah, it bumps,
that's-
Perfectly
yeah,
fine.
bumps it up for me.
Yeah, I agree. It
All
bumps
right.
it down.
bumps it down. We're putting big whoop because apparently Jordan hates it.
I just don't get it. Like,
That's
Casually
what-
throwing
yeah.
it in there.
okay, all right. Maybe does anybody know the reference for big whoop? And if you do, just say yes. Like, don't say.
No.
No, I just thought
I don't
that
think
he
it's a
thought it
reference
wasn't a
at
big
all.
deal. That's what I was
It's
just
just-
thinking.
yeah, it's
it's
just
not a
I
big deal.
I thought it was a reference to the guy that runs the driving range in Family Guy. The guy that says "Big Whoop, want to fight about it?" The
Okay, I can
like
see
that guy.
Maybe.
That's what I thought
Maybe,
it
I don't know.
was. So I was like, well, if that's all the reference is, like, I'm not like.
What I like is like I've pondered what Big Whoop was about.
Yeah.
I've never even thought to ask him.
Would it be funny if he was like, I want people to like really get concerned about what it is, but it really is nothing, so it's really not a big whoop, but people are making a big whoop out about it?
It's
See,
true. We
yeah,
are
It's
making
like
a Big Whoop.
it's
He
like
is-
all meta. And
He's
like,
one of my
it's
division
You kind of
rivals.
just came up
It's
with
just
it and
a
like,
Yeah.
hey, you need a name. Okay, Big Wolf.
He is my division rival.
I
and
typed in
so-
a random name generator and Big Whoop came up. What if it was supposed to be, dude? If his name was Big Whoopi instead, like Whoopi Goldberg, #1 name.
I agree.
I
I
play him
will
twice
say
a year, so I
Big
see
Whoopi.
this name all the
this
time.
is true.
And I've always just assumed that he really didn't care and just said whatever.
Yeah, Big Whoop.
I'd like to nominate our next worst team
Okay.
name: Armchair Quarterbacks.
Yeah, I can go with
Too
that.
cliche.
Yeah.
Just way too cliche.
That is.
There's
that's
no
all he did is
originality.
He got online. He said, "I need
Right.
fantasy football team."
No,
name.
no, he-
Armchair
I
quarterbacks."
need fantasy.
He got on. He was like, whitest fantasy football team name. If I have Hunter Renfro and other white
Hunter
people,
Renfro.
what should my team name be?
Is Hunter Renfro the son of Mrs. Renfro?
I don't know who that is.
I don't either, but I think it's a thing.
I imagine she.
It probably is.
I can't wait till we get to actually reviewing because he is not helping his case.
No.
Not at all.
I gotta
He
say,
did reach for at least one African American player.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's
But he's from the whitest town in Cumberland, Maryland. And
oh my
well, I shouldn't
gosh.
say this, but I guess I will.
No.
no, I'm like, did you hear how
Don't
fast
do
he
it.
can? It was so fast. Because I probably shouldn't say this, but I guess I will. No.
We don't like to cast aspersions here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That was so fast.
I-
That was so amazing.
I will bite my tongue for this moment.
All right.
I'm gonna agree with you on the team name though. That's a very
Yeah.
It's a very vanilla
Yeah.
team name.
Very much so.
Dude, I gotta say,
great.
I think my two favorite ones are Bring in the Chowder. That makes me laugh every time I say
You're
it.
skipping ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
We're on like number 12.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
All right,
we'll go back to the middle.
we know now that we're not going to bring the chowder anytime soon.
Mhm.
But we went Big Whoop, and now we went Armchair Quarterbacks. And Justin's going to say something extremely inappropriate here in just a second.
I can see it on the screen. I know exactly what it is.
I'm just saying, that's his mother.
What?
Nah, I can't see it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whose mother?
Ty Johnson's mother.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Which is fine.
Yeah, that is fine.
But I was going to be very inappropriate, and
Is-
instead of being inappropriate,
You're just going to show us and not
I'm going to
show
tell
everyone.
everybody
So he gets grandfathered in.
Jeff
Oh
is
my
racist.
It's
Jeff is racist.
is Tim Mysack's team the only team name that is a pun on a real NFL player?
What player?
Tyrann Mathieu or Mathau?
Is that?
I didn't think
That's
it
not what
had
that
That's not what it
is.
is.
It doesn't.
Oh, it's just a
it doesn't.
coincidence
It's just
or
a.
a
It's just a. It's a weird coincidence.
Yeah, that's true because it is spelled exactly the same.
Yeah, I think.
All right,
Or it's
what-
close enough.
So we're moving on from the armchair quarterbacks. Let's see.
No. I just.
Well,
Which
yeah.
is fine.
Thankfully.
Again,
We've
fine
said
by
all
me.
that can be said.
Yeah, we've said all the things said. And the thing is, like, he had warning that if he continued his ways, he would be criticized, and he has.
Yeah.
We are now to number 12. And we're not going with Tyrannosaurus Flex, right?
No.
And
We like
just to be
Tyrannosaurus
clear,
Flex.
you got to bump it up to 11 if we're making the agreement that Smacked by These Boys is carried off.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
So
we would
that's
be on
fine.
11.
He's on 12, so we're at
We'd be on
11. You know, the thing is, I've never liked my Dixie Wrecked, but it is clever, and therefore it can't be at this point yet. There are worse things.
I'd put it in the top 10, but I don't know if I'd go.
What is the meaning behind Tree Stump?
I have no clue.
Yeah, and why haven't we
That's-
rated? That's
'Cause
terrible.
that would be my next one.
No, Tree Stump's real high for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's real high. I love Tree Stump. I think that's the funniest freaking thing because it doesn't
Maybe
apparently
do that.
mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a random
Full
fellow.
disclosure, I'm engaged to Tree Stump, so I'll back out of this and agree with whatever you guys want to rate Tree Stump. It's a great.
Wait, is she really is she married to the idea of Tree Stump?
I don't know.
Because that was an immediate change to Tree Stump.
She
It has
loves-
never changed since. So.
She loves
Extra
trees.
points from me
Yeah.
if I had any clue why it was named Tree Stump.
So, is the mystery more intriguing than knowing what it is?
No.
No.
Yeah. No.
Because Tree Stump is a stupid fucking name. Into the next one. Oh man.
I mean,
This has turned out much better than expected.
Dude, it's
some
great.
quality
Full-
content.
full disclosure.
Okay,
Alright,
so
so
I'm
Is there something
afraid.
to follow full
I'm
disclosure?
afraid to rank her team name.
Okay,
That's
that's
perfectly
fine. That's fine. So we'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone for
Can
now.
we all agree that maybe this isn't the best team name, but the coolest team name is Nightwings?
No, because here's the thing. So what was he before Nightwings? I think we talked about this last year.
Sidekicks.
Sidekicks.
There's some kind of
Sidekicks.
reference.
I enjoy the evolution of it.
Yeah,
He was the sidekick. He was Robin.
now he wants
Now
to
he's
be the
Nightwing.
hero. The
So he's-
problem with that is
But what
he
did
got
he do?
worse.
He still sucks.
Didn't get cooler at all.
He
It
got
was
worse.
it was a mindset that he was trying to put his team in.
Yeah.
That failed miserably.
Oh, speaking of armchair quarterbacks,
Hey, I gotta go back here.
did you,
I know we've moved way on, but
did you notice that he said that I gave my keepers a pep talk and like 3 hours later Andrew Luck retired? What kind of pep talk was that? It wasn't a very good one. That's all I got.
yeah. Dude, that's amazing. I forgot about that.
That's a good
Oh,
That's all I
man.
gotta say about that.
Jeff, I don't know if you're involved in the coaching staff of your kids' Pee Wee football team, but if you are, don't give any speeches, bud.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean it's too early for them to quit on life.
Yeah, they got
Holy
dreams.
You say that now. You say that now.
Yeah, we don't know what they're going
Yeah,
to
you get a 29-year-old to retire next week. A 10-year-old.
Say,
Oh my!
So,
Oh my
so
god,
we're
dude.
That was
so we
rough.
are at number 11
That's
or so, right?
genius.
I don't have a clue anymore.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
We're at 10 now.
Yep. The thing is, I like bringing the chowder because I'd rather change it to bringing the gazpacho, as we did many times.
Yeah.
Bring in this
Yeah, I want some
So
cold
good.
soup. I don't want some hot soup.
Bring in the chowder.
Chowder
It's
can be hot.
definitely like middle of the pack for me.
Okay.
It's a fine name.
I'm
It's
okay.
perfectly fine.
It's a fine.
And I mean that without any aspersion. It's
Yeah.
not a terrible name like apparently mine is. But it's not a
Yours isn't a terrible
great
name.
name.
All I said is like I don't understand the reference, so I don't know where to put it. But now I do, and I know where to put it.
15.
Yeah, not
No,
last.
14. You don't
I
have.
did. I got bumped up
you
a
didn't,
slot.
You didn't put
Yeah.
Cody's
Oh,
name
yeah.
or Cody's team down, so you're good.
I enjoy bringing the chowder just because it's so out there, but at the same time, I have trouble ranking it higher because his name in the other league is with myself. So that way, when somebody's like, "Who do you play this week?" and it's like, "Oh, I'm playing with myself,"
Yes.
which is at least clever.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
But I don't understand the bringing the chowder.
No. I mean, especially because the man loves dick jokes, so I'm sure that.
Well,
it's
he's bringing
yeah.
the chowder.
Yeah, that's
Well,
Yeah.
just think about it. Like, what is it? What does bringing the chowder mean? That means somebody is going somewhere with chowder. That's really funny.
I mean, that is exactly what that means.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
They
it's
have a
so
microwave
great.
where they
Fair
keep it
enough.
going, so
Fair
they keep
enough.
it back
It's
up.
like, just imagine if there was a guy that like showed up your house. He's like, here's some chowder.
Yeah.
That's
So-
him.
That's him.
Yeah, he's telling
Maybe
you.
if he had Jameson Crowder and he was bringing the
Crowder.
Bringing
that
the
would
Crowder.
that'd be pretty good.
He's reached for him last year, I believe.
Someone's got
Or the year
one.
before.
Oh yeah, he did because then he traded him off to Dixie.
And that was one of Dixie's keepers.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Oh my
so
God,
where are we
he
at
is.
now?
I don't know.
I
So-
feel like we're right with like Zemanai's names.
Yeah.
Because I feel like mine's not good enough to be up at the top because not everybody gets the reference.
No.
I
don't
probably
get
put
the
yours
Fawns.
above mine because at least people know what yours means.
I don't get the reference,
Do they, though?
but it's a pretty good name
Mm-hmm.
because the fact that we're in
the
a
explanation.
16-team league
Yeah.
that is picking people like CJ Precise and Benny Snell. and
It's
you're
very
still-
obviously
and you're
not
still
just
laying
for
down
fun.
the $25 every year to stay in the league.
Yeah, it's very obviously not just for fun. It's for
Right.
something else too.
It's just for serious.
So the references, I don't know. Do we have time to go into this?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I got all the time in the world.
I'll
Nobody's watching, so
I'll try
We
and.
finished the draft like 5 hours early.
That's true. That's true. I'll try and make it fast anyway.
I'm off tomorrow, bitches. I can go all night.
Well, I'll try and make it quick anyway because I know we got better stuff to get to. But like the Just for Funds came.
I
from,
don't think we do. But go ahead.
Maybe not. Maybe this is going to be the best part of it.
I didn't
But-
mean to interrupt.
Oh,
So when I worked at Rocky Gap, we did a lot of like activity stuff for people who were coming in to visit. We'd set up, kids activities and boat rentals, bike rentals, and we set up trips for people and everything. Well, this guy called in, and he's like, "Hello, my name is Newton Joseph, and I want to do an ACG tour." Now, like everything he asked to do, he didn't say it right, so he wanted to do an ATV tour.
Yeah.
But he's like ACG. I want to, the ACG tours. Like, let me do that. And we're like, well, okay. Well, it's this much money. And he's like, oh, never mind. Like it was way. You could tell that like it was way out of his price range, and he just like didn't want to. He didn't want to like sound bad about it. He was like, well, what about the volunteering? Or like volunteering. What is volunteering? He wanted to do orienteering. It's where you go out with a compass and you'd follow a map and do all this stuff. Well, I said, well, typically we do orienteering with big companies as part of like team building events. So like a company or corporation to come in and bring in a bunch of people, and it's kind of like, like a team building thing. Like we can absolutely do it for you, but that's typically who we do it for, larger groups.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, let me call you back. And he called back literally 5 minutes later and said, yes, this is Newton C. Joseph from the Just for Funds Corporation. So like you can tell he just made up some shit so that he could do the orienteering. And so like that was the joke at work. Anytime we had a slow day at work, like me and the guy I worked with, we made a website. It was called justforfunds.com, and like I was like, this is me going kite biking, and like
Kite bike.
and it was like it had nothing to do with kites or bikes, and it's like, oh, I'm going mud scuba, and this guy was like jumping in the puddle, and we just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. So like Just for Funds, kind of that's where that.
So based on that, I would say that what's your story for Angry Pirates?
The Pirates are just angry.
All right, so you'd be 9 and...
Wait.
Do you really not know what an angry pirate is?
Yeah, pirates are just angry people.
Yeah, he doesn't want to explain the story of what his name means.
I don't
Everybody
know.
go to Urban Dictionary.
I don't
Urban
know.
Dictionary.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
actually don't know that reference.
In defense of Zum, though.
Isn't he technically the happy pirate?
Exactly.
That's right.
That's what I was going to bring up.
I've moved on from my immature ways.
So now that
I'm
it's happy,
Pirates.
now that it's Happy Pirates, it goes
Missed the eyes completely.
Dylan's team, Happy Pirates, Slimmer.
Dude, I think I like.
we got to start over.
I gotta say, I think I like Happy Pirates better than Angry Pirates. It's so much more.
It's been a running joke for like 13 years.
Yeah.
That's been
Dude, your Xbox Live name used to be Dat Angry Pirate.
To be honest, guys, like I have no intention of putting Just for Funds anywhere near that low.
Oh, really?
I got Just for Funds up there, so I'm not ready.
Okay.
I'm not ready to rank Just for Funds.
Okay, all
That's
right.
fine.
But Happy Pirates / Angry Pirates is good to go right there.
That's fine. I'm good with it.
Right.
I'm good with it.
All right.
Considering that it was like 18 years old whenever I decided to name my team after a weird sexual position.
So, like, well, okay. So the only two teams we haven't talked about are Gothic Assholes and Bloib Lands,
No, there's more than
There's
Yeah,
like
and-
seven. There's like seven
There's like
teams.
and Straight Cash
And
Homie.
Straight
that. Straight
Cash
Cash
Homie.
Homie.
I'm alright with Straight Cash Homie because...
And that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, because Randy Moss.
Well,
you know.
we talked about my Dixie Wreck, but we didn't rank
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
rank
that's
my
true.
Dixie
That's
Rack.
And who else?
Well, we talked about Just for Funs, but I haven't ranked Just
Right.
for Funs.
I think I don't have a fun rank.
Tyrannosaurus Flex.
Tyrannosaurus Flex is clever.
Yeah.
Jeff
Same
just
with my Dixie Rex.
posted and said the armchair quarterback checking in.
Yes.
So
You should
Yeah, you
check
should
in about
yes.
10 minutes ago, buddy.
Yeah.
you should.
You're really,
Yeah.
you're really gonna like what you hear.
Skip minute 13 to 19.
Jeff, you were ranked like 13th or 14th.
Part of the reason why I really like Tyrannosaurus Flex is not because of the name at all, but because of how passionate Tim is about that.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He's
Guy-
so
like, he loves that
He's
name.
so happy about it, and it makes him so happy that that's his name. That's the reason why I love it. Like, I don't have any thoughts or feelings about the name itself other than
And I don't know if there's any reference to it. He just
It's just
loves
a
it.
pun.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. The only reason that I would prevent myself from ranking that name much higher is because I really enjoyed when he was the Pecan Sandies.
That's really good. I forgot about the
Time
Pecan
ago.
Sandies.
So what is the story behind your name? Bloib's Plans.
That one goes back the longest period of time, which is why I have to rank it high.
Week
It's
one
classic.
of season 1, Bloib's
Yeah.
Plans.
Bland Face has been around.
It's been around for a very long time.
yeah,
So
since middle school, right?
so essentially, in in middle school, my friend and I, Chris, we like came up with a couple names for crude acts that we couldn't actually mention in front of adults that we would use as code. So Bloib was to shit one's pants. So like, oh man, I just bloibed, or whatever. And,
I just moved my pants.
yeah.
We couldn't say that.
You need to say that in,
Yeah.
We just need to
in,
blow it.
popular company a lot.
It was
It
it
happens
was
all the time.
it was Bloib and Smag. Smag was to come in one's pants.
Well, there was another one though, and it was to poop someone else's pants.
Klube.
Klube. That's
Yeah.
what it was. It was Klube. I've been trying to think of Klube forever.
I forgot about Klube
Did you-
because I never
you know-
used it
do you
for
remember-
anything.
I was trying to think of Klube, and I remembered another one that's like the funniest word, the funniest made-up word I've ever heard. It's ploop plop to jabba doobly dub.
That's outrageous.
It's an outrageous word, and I think Chris came up with it.
Mm.
Ploop plop to jabba doobly dub.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't
I
know
don't
if it means
remember,
anything. It's just like the longest, like funniest word
But-
I've ever heard.
We came up with these names, like these code words in middle school, and we would say them, and we thought we were cool because we were saying bad things around adults, which were not cool at all. The Bland comes from my junior year psychiatry class, or psychology class, rather. We had to put together a poster with a motivational message. I have no artistic ability whatsoever. So one of the guys in our class, Donovan Martin, who was fairly artistic, he drew a hippie Yoda, and then we made the quote, "Do or do not, there is no try." And then there was a whole bunch of negative space on the poster, and the teacher was like, well, you guys got a lot of negative space. So we just started doodling all over this fucking thing. And my only contribution is I took a crayon, a fat one, and just went like this, real big, made a face, and then just like 2 circles, and another one for the face. And Josh Self looks at it and goes, by God, that's the blandest face I've ever seen. So...
And go ahead and post the front page of our video.
Yeah, so that's the face.
yeah, that is the face. Face there, but it's carried on for so many years, and it's been great. To the point, like in high school, we'd sneak into classrooms and like draw it on chalkboards, so other people that had the class after us would walk in and see that it got marked with a bland. But anyway,
It's been like your motif.
yeah, I was a senior in high school
Academia.
and started my first ever fantasy football team and was like, what the fuck am I going to name this? Bloib's Plans.
And here it is.
Yep.
So
So
the-
number one ranked team name, Bloib's Plans.
I'm fine
I
with
give
it.
it a lot of credit.
Yeah.
The name itself doesn't do anything
No,
for me,
no,
but
no.
the idea that you've kept one name
The whole time.
forever gives you a massive bonus. Because I think there should be a penalty for anybody that's changed their name. Because I have no intention of ever changing my name. the
which
entire
is-
Loss
time.
of drop pick.
Yeah.
You changed your
I'm at
name.
the ratings, but I'm in for this.
A full-time barring from the Hall of Fame.
Which is
You never. You get Pete Rose.
which,
You change your name. It doesn't matter how good you
We're
are.
fixing games.
You're
Pete
never
Rose.
gonna make it. You change your name and you go undefeated and win the championship game.
see, I kind of feel bad because the other league that I'm in, I was in that. We started that league the year before this league started, so this is like its 16th or 17th year.
Yeah.
But I dropped out for 2 years, and this is my first year back. And I was always Bloib's Plans from day one. That's where it first started.
Yeah.
But this year, since I'm coming back from the dead, I'm Dawn of the Blands. But this league, that'll always be Bloib's Plans.
Until you're not running it.
Yeah, I'll be dead at that point.
Yep, so probably.
I said it last year. I'll say it again. This is the longest relationship I've ever had. Is with this
that
league.
name?
No, with this league. Like
Oh, this league.
I've ran this league longer than I've ever had a relationship. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's been an abusive relationship. You
it's
can't walk
it's
away.
been so one-sided.
Can't
It's
walk
been
away.
much more beneficial to everyone else than me.
I compromise everything and
Yeah.
get nothing.
Yep.
At least Mary gives me a little something.
If I were tiering the names, I would put yours on that top tier.
Well, I
Top tier.
appreciate that.
Because of that.
I think that's a better way to do it instead of like an individual ranking. is to
Oh,
say,
but
like,
it's so
top
much.
tier names.
It's so much more hurtful though to
Yeah.
put
You
somebody
give
at the
someone,
bottom.
you give someone number one, you get
Well,
the
that's
same
true.
thing.
Okay,
That's it.
so you're at the bottom of tier 4. You could say that.
My favorite name because of the reference is Straight Cash Homie.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
that is like a top 5 thing that has ever happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's one
agree.
of the
I
funnest
agree.
Randy
things
Moss
Yeah.
shooting
Yeah.
the moon,
Yeah.
and then
How you
asking
going
the
to pay for
parking
your
lot.
fine? Straight cash home.
And then he
So
says
good.
next time he's going to think about swinging his dick.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely okay. If there's 4 tiers in a 16-team league, I'd say Straight Cash Homies tier 1.
Yeah.
But I will say the tree stump is the worst.
Worst name.
That is.
We're recording.
Good.
See,
Nice.
Just so you know.
Tree Stump to me is like tier 1.
What's the hell the word?
Is there a reference behind Tree Stump?
Nothing good enough for a story.
Okay, yeah.
It literally was. I want to find something clever
Fourth
for like
tier.
nature. Tree stump.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's the story.
It could have easily been.
All right, yeah, that easily
Rocky
moves,
Moss.
that moves it down to the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. Bottom
Yeah,
tier.
tier 4.
Tier 4.
Where was I before that story?
Tier
Tier
3.
1.
Yeah, dude.
I had you in tier 1. I was like, I gotta say, I love Tree Stump because to me it's like nonsensical and it's like a random word, and that's
Oh.
funny to me. But
But
I mean,
now,
it was
now it's not
meant to be-
random.
Not
It
so
was meant to be
much.
clever random. Yeah, cookie cake.
So,
yeah,
So
Cookie
that's
did
everybody,
we
right?
finish it? We finished it.
We didn't talk. I think we hit everybody.
Yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So tier. Yeah.
Yeah, I like personally. Straight Cash Homie is my favorite,
Yeah, I'm
and like I hate saying that. I hope he's not watching this video.
Bring in the
And
chowder.
if anybody outside of this room is watching this video, I hope you don't tell him because I don't want him to know.
Bring in the chowder, number 1 name.
It's
We need a
not-
submittal
okay.
for a name. We're missing one.
Yeah.
Smack by These Boys is gonna be something else, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
That
so
by
he has a
default goes
chance.
into the-
He
yeah.
has a chance to make
He
himself.
He could really shake up these power rankings.
It
Yeah.
really could.
Yeah. Hopefully he watches
He's
the first.
he's at an advantage though because
Now
he
knows that
sees
it's
the
a
field.
category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Well-
knows that we're going to judge him once he puts it out there.
Yeah, when he watches the first 25 minutes of this video,
At least,
he's gonna pick something that appeals to all of our.
at least he came into this league with an advantage in something.
Yeah.
Because most people didn't realize that we were going to talk about fantasy football for at least 16 hours during the season.
Oh my god.
We are closing in on spending as much time talking about who has the best team name as we did drafting the entire league this year.
Yeah.
Have you guys seriously been doing that this entire time since the draft ended?
No.
No, it's been like a 45 minutes. It's been 45 minutes.
Are we at 45 minutes on this thing?
I believe so.
All right, let's talk about actual teams now then.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Since it's
No,
very hard to like rank, do we just want to start?
We're at 45
Left or
minutes,
right,
but like the
or-
first 20 was just it playing
Silence.
while we were doing
Yeah.
other things.
So I think we should, because it's here in front of our face. We start with bringing the chatter. He was pick 1,
Okay.
Best
and
team
we
name.
just go through. It's partially okay team name.
Tier 1 name.
Tier 1 team name. How about the team itself? His keepers we ranked pretty
Tier
low.
4
if I remember
team.
right. His keepers we ranked pretty low. I don't have the rankings in front of me, but I'm pretty sure he was in the 10 range.
One of his
The-
keepers
Yeah, I don't
isn't
remember.
currently signed.
Yeah, and that's the problem. He's got some
And
great
one
keepers.
probably will not play this
Oh yeah, I
He's
forgot
got
Demaryius Thomas. I forgot about
Melvin
Demaryius.
Gordon won't
Cut.
play, but the other ones are okay, I guess.
And
However-
Duke Johnson has already taken a hit.
He gets to. He started out at pick 1. He had my pick 15. He turned out, I think, a pretty good overall team here. When I'm looking at it, just a quick glance. I mean, he was the first person to take a defensive player. But he took the right defensive player.
That's true.
He had a
He
lot
started
of
wrong.
picks
Yeah.
early. A
Yeah.
lot of extra draft picks.
So
Roquan Smith is also a good pick.
yeah, so he's got a pretty elite defense there because he
If the
took it all in.
projections hold up, yeah.
Yeah, he took it all in 5
he-
consecutive rounds.
Yeah, holy cow.
But
Whew.
he doesn't have much.
And
depth
he
in
still
his
got
skill
Trey
positions.
Quinn?
Yeah, he still got straight man. How did that happen? Yeah, I mean, basically, as we all know because we just did it, it's a crapshoot after about round 12.
Well,
so.
and what we're not talking about yet is he's got the number 1 kicker, obviously
Oh,
a clear
man.
advantage,
That's-
and he's got Dwayne Haskins.
Was there a line that the Greg the Leg was the number 1 kicker?
Okay, wait,
I thought it'd
another
be Justin Tucker.
Tucker was taken second.
Okay.
detriment to this team. Derwin James is out until like week 14.
But that okay. In his
That's such a
defense-
late
his
pick.
In his
That's a
defense,
late
it's his
pick. Yeah.
it's his extra defender. So that is
Yeah.
definitely someone that I can see just getting.
That would be his
dropped.
first cut.
Sure.
Yeah.
It just cut maybe even before week 1.
Yeah,
That's
but
his
why
Darius
even
Leonard
draft
this
him?
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Whether or not Melvin Gordon plays is like a massive factor because if he doesn't play, his running backs are
Matt Breida.
he has no depth at running back. at all.
Right. Well, the thing is, Duke Johnson can slot into a starting running back role
Yes.
potentially,
And he
depending on
will.
what they give him. Yeah.
Carlos
So-
Hyde's
And,
just
and
there
Matt
for
Breida's Matt Breida
You've
can
heard
be
it here
great.
first.
It's hard to
Carlos
say.
Hyde jumping over 5 people.
Yeah,
That was probably my favorite thing about last year.
Stand firm
Start
on
the
it.
predictions.
Does Carlos Hyde jump over more people or score more touchdowns?
He's already ahead of pace. Last year it was like week 4 or 5 when he was traded. He was traded preseason week 4 this year.
Do you remember the thing
Where
we
does
made?
he-
It's just like, does it count as jumping over somebody if you like jump them in the depth chart, like not on the field? Like,
Last year he jumped teams.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Fair enough.
I brought that up. He
So-
just jumped 53 people.
All right. Odds that he are the odds better that he stays on the Texans or that he is traded to another team before the end of the season?
Well, since the Texans are playing GM with like a dartboard and a Ouija,
They don't have a
and-
GM right now, do they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
Bill
they-
O'Brien wakes up and
He decides something
rolls a
different.
20-sided die, and that's what happens.
So we're going to say he doesn't
That's what-
end
maybe
up.
I should
So
do
it's
that.
50-50. It's 50-50 then whether Carlos Hyde stays on the Texans for the rest of the
Yeah,
year.
he will or
Right.
he won't.
Yeah, he will. Or he won't.
Obviously, it's 50-50.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. This is the most improved team from Keepers 2. I haven't looked at any of the rest of the teams yet.
You're probably
Most
right.
improved
Yeah.
team from Keepers to real
That is
ending team.
That is kind of easy when you have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds and you pick first,
Fair
and
enough.
your keepers aren't.
But
good.
as Justin
Hey,
will tell you,
You're
yeah,
not wrong.
I can attest to the fact that it's not always that easy.
That's true.
Sometimes you get a Kamar Aiken.
I have 3 theories in fantasy football. 1, don't keep quarterbacks. I did it. 2, don't keep defensive players. Never going to do that. And 3, the draft doesn't matter.
This is true.
Because all these people suck.
As somebody who had the best draft last year, I will say that it does matter. Because I went from 14th place to 3rd.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It matters if you're good.
It matters if you pick the right flyers.
If you're not good at it, the draft doesn't
get
matter.
to you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody else has to suck.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like we could say this a lot. He just doesn't have any depth.
no depth.
But that's going to be every single team.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna
he
be
really
this-
needs Melvin Gordon to sign a contract. And
That's
start playing
going.
football.
The
Yeah.
depth, the no depth thing's going to be the rule, not the exception.
Yeah,
I want
I
to say
agree.
that he has no depth for our league, though.
I could get behind that.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one and see if that holds true.
The Gothic
Gothic
assholes.
Jordan's least favorite name.
I didn't want to rank these teams, but this is.
Yeah, I
looking
don't
like
want to
a,
have him in tier 4, but he
This
is.
looking like a bottom team.
Yeah.
Now his
He-
problem.
he
He
really-
sold his draft for a championship last year.
Well,
Which-
he's got two problems. Like you said, he sold his draft for a championship last year, and I'll let you elaborate. His second problem, he gave me a list of which positions he wanted drafted per round, like per pick, which doesn't factor in the runs in the draft at all.
Yeah.
So he's
So, like,
picking-
everybody's-
he's picking behind the run.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, like everybody's taking linebackers, and he's taking his first running back after they've already been taken.
Chris Thompson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yikes.
So, without seeing any other team, I'm going to go ahead and put this team at number 16.
Wait, so was Deion Lewis his first pick?
Deion
Yeah.
Lewis was his first pick of the draft in the 9th round.
In the 9th round.
really tough.
Yeah. But you can elaborate on what you were going to say there, Zum,
I forgot already.
about him trading his draft.
Yeah,
away.
he traded his draft away to win a championship, and then he did not make the playoffs.
Missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Rodney.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
That's the tough part about the way this league is structured is you can have a great team all year and one bad week keeps you out of contention.
Yep.
So it sucks. Like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be giving away this secret here, but like, don't fucking trade your team away because you could lose at any moment, even with good players.
Yeah. And his
As
players weren't all
somebody
that great
else-
to begin with.
Yeah,
As somebody else that shouldn't be giving a secret away, don't listen to Jordan.
that's true.
Trade your team away.
Yeah.
Send me offers.
Yeah,
First round pick is available for
I was
next
gonna
year.
say, trading your team away is fine. It's trading all of your picks
your
away.
picks
when
away.
you
I'm
don't
sorry.
have
I'm
a
sorry.
team.
You're right.
Right.
Right, because
Trade your picks away.
you take a 1 week that you could have been great and gotten to the playoffs, and now you've extended into another full year where your team is absolutely god awful.
Don't
Right.
trade a 2nd and 3rd round pick for Jordan Howard.
Yeah, that might
Yes,
be a
that's
good
tough.
idea, too.
That's
really
that's
tough.
some sage advice there.
Yep. So his keepers weren't great, and his team did not turn out to be great either. Number 16.
16 out of 16.
I
Agreed.
can't.
Yeah, I can't. No argument there.
And that is without seeing other people's rosters.
Well,
Whirling
that's-
to
that's-
it.
okay,
Whirling
but
to
that-
it.
I mean, that's not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing he had going against him there is he didn't have a pick till the 9th round.
Yeah. And the thing, like, up until this point, he has had, like, 4 stud receivers on that team.
No.
I get that.
And now he doesn't.
Yeah.
So he has 1.
Well, since Mary's here, let's talk about tree stump.
Yeah, and
Oh,
how terrible the name is, for one. And then we'll move into how
Tier.
she's carrying a convict as her number 2 keeper.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not.
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson,
Is he
solidly.
playing? Is
Yeah.
he playing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
playing not suspended, only suspended last year for 2 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
For something stupid like punching a police officer. I can't remember, but it was something that made Mary very unhappy whenever we pointed it out. And luckily,
she's
she
still
was stuck
unhappy.
with him for multiple years because she'd already signed a contract.
Mary, I don't think I've ever seen a shirt that like fits you more like with the message on it. You know,
The other
like
thing.
that is exactly
sports.
how you talk. It's like it's like such a find. It's
I
perfect.
got it for him a couple years ago, and he doesn't wear it, so
Oh, okay.
I've
Well,
adopted it.
Well,
it's
because it fits her, so clearly it doesn't fit me.
no. Well, I meant the message fits.
Yeah,
very,
no,
very
no,
well.
I know.
Like, that's exactly how you talk.
I
about
was
it.
really hoping someone at work today would ask me why I was wearing this shirt. Could be like, "Oh, Babu's at home doing a fantasy foosball draft." I don't understand what's going
I like that the
Yeah.
guy's saying I'm super worked up because my team did stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it said and stuff.
Oh.
on. I mean,
Move
close
that
enough.
thing to the other thing.
That's
That's a
pretty
pretty
much what
classic
sports
shirt.
is.
Yes.
All right.
But her team is actually pretty good, sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, she was able to take an early round draft pick and get Josh Jacobs, who is elite for first round pick potential in this
Yeah.
league. So she's got Saquon Barkley, number 1 overall, probably. She's got Michael Thomas. So her keepers were great.
Yeah.
She ended up picking
Very
up
good.
a decent tight end in O.J. Howard. She picked up a decent running back in Josh Jacobs.
And if when Aaron
Her
Rodgers
defense
gets
is
hurt
actually
again,
pretty good. Now I'm looking at that.
Her
So
first 3 picks are all great.
yep.
Yeah, they're
Jacobs is
fantastic.
exactly where I would have taken him. I had O.J. Howard valued higher than where she got him. John Ross valued higher than where she got him. So
Yeah, in her defense, she picked up Quan Alexander, perennial
also
high point producer.
she's got the jack.
Yeah, she's got it. So,
The Jack.
I like
without,
Mohamed Sanu where she got him too.
without seeing all the rest of the teams, I'm going to go ahead and rank this number 7 just for fun.
Aw.
That's pretty good.
Well, you guys
That's a
felt
top
good
half
about
of the
my
league.
keepers earlier. You saying that my draft brought me down that far.
I think
Oh,
the
wait.
keepers are
teams
among
we
the
have
best
looked
in
at,
the
You have the
league.
best draft.
You have there's
Yay!
of
a
the 3 we have
yeah.
looked at.
You're number
I'll take
1. You're number 1 out of 3, which
Yay!
will probably put you somewhere in the middle. This is just like pizza reviews. I can't go too high on this because I don't know what I'm about to see.
Yeah, you may move up.
Yeah.
You may
Top
move
rankings.
down. All right.
Flexi boy.
The old flex.
So, Tim,
Terrible.
what a championship.
Bunches
2
of
championships?
He's won twice.
Yeah.
God, I hate my life.
He is not a good fantasy football player. And he makes you pick his team at this point in time. So
Justin's not a good fan.
so you should know better than that.
You picked this team based on like his list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. List.
Yeah.
It's
He made a
not.
list.
It's not Justin's.
Yeah.
And actually, the switch to Eckler as a keeper helped him because now it looks like
Wait.
Because Lamar Miller isn't going to play, so yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely helped.
yeah, it definitely helped him. Dave Montgomery, good first round pick. Christian
Yeah.
Kirk, good second round pick.
Yeah.
I had
Deion
Christian
Jones
Kirk a
and
lot
CJ
lower than that,
Mosley.
actually.
Good defense.
I gotta say, I mean, like, the picks were done very well.
Justice Hill's got potential. Yeah, the picks were done very well. Good job, Justin.
Thank you. I was
Yeah.
waiting.
Good
I
job,
was
Justin.
waiting for somebody to.
I would place this team below Mary's and above the other 2.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I'd say that's
Yeah, I
fair.
can't disagree with that.
So,
Like
Yeah.
solid 10.
the only thing that hurts this team is the tight end position.
Austin Hooper. You don't believe in the
Uh,
Falcons' number 1 tight end?
I don't believe in
Anyone
anybody
else?
outside the top 6, and
Number
he's
8.
like 10th.
I don't think it's like when I look at the other tight ends, I don't think that's a bad place to take him though.
No, I agree.
And at that point,
But as
he's
far as a
got-
weakness on the team goes, so.
Okay, so he has 3 wide receivers at that point, but one of them is Funchess. And the
right.
other is Robert Woods. So
And the other one is Christian Kirk, unproven
Christian
quarterback.
yeah,
No wide receiver in Arizona has done good behind Larry Fitzgerald.
no, yeah.
It's since Anquan Bolden. Actually, no. What was the guy that was actually really good? Malcolm Floyd. Malcolm Floyd had a good year in Arizona a couple years ago,
And they disappeared off the
and
face
then
of the
we
earth.
went to Minnesota and didn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah,
But I definitely
wide
put him-
receiver. I think
It's
is
an
a
alright
weakness.
draft.
I definitely put him above Chowder and assholes, though.
He made his team better.
Yes, he did.
He made his
That's
team better.
true.
I don't put him above Chowder.
I think Chowder is probably above him as well.
Yeah.
Are we talking full team or just the draft?
Full team.
Okay,
In
full-
the end result
full
of the
team
draft plus
Chowder.
keepers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drafted players.
Yeah.
Tyrannosaurus
Yeah,
Flex.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
Fair enough. I mean, the thing is, he wasn't going to go wrong, Chowder, picking either Mike
Yeah.
Evans or who went second? David
Johnson.
So he was going to be fine regardless of who he picked from. But after that, he went defense a little early with not having enough depth with
But
his
it-
players being 1, not on a team, and 2, not playing football.
Yeah.
I agree he went defense early, but because he had all those extra picks, he could afford to do defense early. He kind of set the tone of the draft.
Because once he started,
Everybody
You
else
get other
started
people
picking.
to take defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the problem is, people were still picking defensive players, and he was able to hop on a couple wide receivers
at the end.
afterwards.
Yeah.
See, I want to say wide receivers where he's weak, but he did get Ted Ginn in the 20th round,
Yeah, that's a decent pick.
and like
He's got
Ginn
potential to
is
get some
listed.
points. When you're drafting someone that late, if they can get you any points at all,
Yeah.
if you're forced to play him, it's worthwhile.
What really
Yeah.
sucked was that I had it lined up, and I was like, okay, I'm going to draft Ted Ginn. And then I was like, oh, shit, it's Tim's turn. And I looked at his list, and it was definitely one wide receiver here. Son of a bitch.
Ted Ginn.
I just want to make one other comment about this team. I didn't realize until yesterday that Jason Witten came back and was playing football again.
Oh, really?
Completely forgot about it.
Completely
forgot that he was back.
As a Cowboys fan, I am not a fan of him coming back.
I just have no clue what
I'm
it's
a
going
huge
to.
fan of him being out of the booth. And
Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah,
I don't think he was
I
very
agree
good.
with
He was
that.
a terrible commentator.
But like he's slow. He's like worse than a plotter. Like he's got a lot of experience, and he'll be good for some of the younger guys. But like Blake Jarwin
was a tight end.
You can be a plotting tight end. I'll tell you who's a plotting tight end.
Jason Witten.
Greg Olson.
Bubba Franks.
That's the name.
Do you remember Bubba
Yeah.
Franks?
Bubba Franks. He was
Algie
Green
Crumpler was in that
Algie
team.
Yeah,
Crumpler.
Algie.
Algie Crumpler.
Dude, in Madden 2003, Mike Vick to Algie
Way
Crumpler
back.
connection was the bomb, dude. It was the bomb. Roddy White.
That was
DVD days.
back when
Yeah.
whenever Greg Jennings was carrying the team on his back.
That's true.
Greg Jennings.
Yeah.
Greg.
T-Flex,
Jennings.
solid number 13.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
I would have taken.
You're going to be
I-
changing that when we get to some of these
I would've
names.
Yeah,
taken-
I agree. I agree.
I would have taken Jarwin over Witten.
Because the thing is he does have Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, who was the MVP of the original draft, probably. The
It's-
third. He
it-
picked
yeah,
him in
it's
the third
such
round.
Bell
a-
was good because
It's
there
such a
was
wild card right now, but even at his lowest, as long
He's
as he
got
doesn't
volume.
get hurt, he's
Yeah.
gonna
He's
get.
going to be good. The issue with him was it tanked his season last year.
Yeah.
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 I don't
Well,
think
it's
he had
good.
much
It's good and
hope
bad.
otherwise anyway.
He did tank the season, but he also didn't suffer any physical
Exactly. Yeah.
impact. So he's going to be.
Except that he's not in football shape anymore and will tear his ACL.
We'll
Week
see.
2. You heard it here first.
Maybe.
Bold
Maybe.
prediction.
Adrian Peterson beat his son, took a year off, and came back. And
End up one just
Those
for
two
fun.
things are completely equal.
No. No, I'm not saying they're equal. I'm just saying. I was trying to be funny. But.
I understand.
No, that was
Do you
great.
remember Wes's team name was
Adrian
Adrian
beats
Beats
his
His Son?
Terrible.
That was
Adrian
awful.
beats his son and Gino 911.
Gino 911 was a
Oh, that's so good.
great team name.
On to the Blands.
I think we should save my team because it's going to be like top 3, and I don't want to taint it by trying to rank it right now. I mean,
Well, the thing is, right now, you could look like number 1 because we're coming off all these teams that are mediocre.
this might be the only time I look like a number
So
one.
your number one pick was Antonio Brown?
Basically.
Sort of. I
Yeah.
traded
You
my
traded-
number one
you
pick.
traded
You
your-
won
Okay.
that trade.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
You won that trade
You
in my
traded
opinion.
Antonio Brown for Alshon Jeffrey, basically.
Right.
Which, I mean, the thing is, Chris would look at that and say, that's a great trade.
Well-
Alshon Jeffrey's a great player.
You know the funny thing though, like, do you think any of the other players? Do you think Antonio Brown gets drafted ahead of any of the other players drafted before him? So, like in the 6th round,
Ahead of David Montgomery?
yeah. Do you
Yes.
think AB goes ahead of Montgomery?
Yes.
Well, no, because Tim said he wanted a running back number 1.
Well, yeah, but if I were picking, I wouldn't have to.
Right, but I'm just saying based on the draft,
Mhm.
because you got to figure that. I mean, bring the chowder. If he took Mike Evans, he would have taken Mike Evans over AB.
I agree.
Yeah.
Rodney
I
would have
agree.
taken. Well, he didn't have a pick. Whoever had Rodney's pick, Dylan,
Dylan. Yeah, he went with
David Johnson,
He
and David
would've
Johnson
gone.
should have been the number 1 pick anyway.
Yeah. So,
If it were me and you have the same people that we drafted, we had available, and then you add AB to that, I would have put him at number 2 behind David Johnson.
Really?
For me personally, I would have taken him just ever so slightly ahead of Mike Evans.
he has the potential, and
Right.
you're going to feed him.
Well, now I
probably.
feel a lot better. I think my team's the best team.
The biggest weakness to Brown is the chance that that situation goes south and he suddenly isn't playing football anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's such a head case, there is a chance that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you tell me right now he's playing all 16 games that are fantasy relevant, then yeah, absolutely.
Well, and like we made an agreement on this trade like 3 weeks ago, and like right after his first grievance was dismissed, and he was like, "Okay, I'm coming back to play football." Before the appeal, and at that point I was super high on him, but then I've been listening to a bunch of stuff, and everybody's like, "Yeah, he's always had a good thing." Like Ben's Ben, but Ben's consistent and good. Put him in a situation where he's got Derek Carr, who's not that great. When things go sour, like he could just give up on the team. And now I'm like, oh, well, this is a terrible decision.
Yeah, but you kind of knew that going into it. I mean, he's such a prima donna anyway.
But he's never given, like, he's always played.
He's always played. He's played hard until week 17 of last year, which got him out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
which is fine by me.
Yeah,
No. Juju fumbled the playoffs away in week 16.
That
Brown.
yeah.
But he's his boy. The thing, your team looks good from a distance here, the distance that I'm at. But
with the first real pick, it's Latavius Murray.
Yeah, and the thing, like, so he is Mark Ingram in their offense. He will get some touches. That's fine to me.
Well, he was fine last year.
Curtis Samuel was a good sleeper pick, which you have to take in round 7 at this or 8 at this point in time.
Sleepers in round 8.
Yeah, so I think he'll be fine. The thing, Cam Newton I saw was healthy, so that's good. So you got a decent team. Edo Smith is Tevin Coleman now. And your defense is halfway decent.
Judge Edo.
Yeah, halfway decent. Heck, you have
I think
two
the
of the
defense
top
is great.
2 of the top 10 linebackers.
Yeah.
2 of the top 5 linebackers probably.
If I have any
Overall
nitpick
scoring.
with your team, it's that once you get down into the dredges area of people that probably aren't going to be on your team anyway, it's a bunch of names I hate. Because
I
hate
know.
Devontae Parker, I hate Zay Jones,
I hate Randall
Ty
Cobb.
Montgomery.
Rex
Yeah,
Burkhead
you
was-
took 2 Buffalo wide receivers. That is a terrible idea.
But those are people.
One of them's got to catch passes.
Those
No,
are
they
people
don't.
that aren't necessarily likely to be on your team
But-
3 days from
Have
now.
you
But-
seen how close Josh Allen gets to completing passes?
But that's the thing. Josh Allen was like the top ranked fantasy quarterback in the
Because
last
he
6 or
ran
7
for
weeks.
75 yards and 3 touchdowns.
But he's
Look,
he's
eight of
still
those balls
moving
are
though.
going to be uncatchable, and the one that is catchable is
It's a
going to be a
touchdown.
60-yard ball.
right,
fair
right.
Fair enough. So yeah, after looking at this team and the previous teams, I would put you above all of them.
Number 1, baby.
And
Yeah,
Lock it up.
I hate our
Solid.
division.
Ending the video.
Number 7.
Number 1 team, Bloib's Plans. Thank you for watching. Tune in next week whenever I lose my first game and it all crumbles and I start selling everything.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of good players on your team.
What's that?
You and I play week 1.
I
don't
think
we?
so.
There's a lot of good players on your team, but the player that I think is like probably not like the highest scoring player on your team or anything like that, but the player that's going to make a big difference is Chris Godwin. I
hope so.
That might be like super like off on my part, but like I feel like he's gonna have like a special year
And based off
for a
of-
player that's in his tier right now. I think he's going to outperform.
I hope so.
Based off the
I really
shits
do.
and gets and the accuracy, you should be super happy about that.
Yes. I think I'm
Because it's definitely
a
coming true.
solid 32%.
See, to be honest, my team hangs on 2 things: Russell Wilson and Leonard Fournette. If Fournette returns to his rookie season production, and Russell Wilson finds some value, then Tyler Lockett also is incredible. And I love having the quarterback wide receiver tandem
That's a good
when
point.
they produce.
Right.
On the team that runs the most.
No, it doesn't matter though.
I know,
I mean,
I'm
they
just
still
kidding.
throw the ball.
Yeah, Russell Wilson was the number 1 quarterback at the time that you picked him up.
Yeah.
He has the potential. It's just a matter of how game flow goes.
Right.
He
So.
is the only quarterback you have, so you are right.
yeah. Like I really
Right.
need that to pan out for
Super
me.
thin. No depth on this team at all.
Yeah, we didn't talk about depth hardly at all.
Yeah, no depth on this team.
I mean, you're rough at running back with Fournette.
Oh, very,
That's
very
injuries.
rough. Very
Because
rough.
the rest of your running back situation is like
All
acceptable
third string.
for this league, but
But yeah,
not,
yeah.
not
in any
good.
way, shape, or form good.
Like you have to have at least a number 1, and without Fournette, I don't have a 2. Like that's the problem.
Yeah, you really didn't go for running backs at all.
There was none to
Yeah.
be had.
So you had 1, and then your next best running. I didn't realize you were going to have to start Latavius Murray.
He's my number
He's
2.
your number 2.
He's
I
my
take
number
back
2.
everything I said good about your team. You have no backup quarterback. You have no backup tight end. You have no running backs.
Backup quarter. No. So here's the thing: all these teams with 2 quarterbacks and 3 quarterbacks
Who has 3 quarterbacks?
Fucking Jeff has 3 quarterbacks.
Oh, well,
Well, he had to take that flyer on Daniel Jones.
Yeah. And he's got Jacoby Brissett. So he's got one
He has
and
one quarterback.
he's got 1 2/3 quarterbacks.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so like, yeah, it's like, okay, you might have 2 quarterbacks on your team. You're really only going to play one of them. He's got 3, and he's really only going to play one of them. So this is like wasted
and the one that
space.
he's going to play is Jared Goff.
Yeah.
But the thing is these teams with multiple quarterbacks, like the second quarterback's going to be one of the first players you drop when it gets to bye week. And if Russell Wilson gets me to bye week, like,
Someone's
not a
gonna
big
be available.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get
Fair
somebody.
enough. Fair enough. I mean, 16 teams, apparently 2 quarterbacks.
Who I really wanted, and I was pissed because I was going to take him that round, was Kyler Murray. Because I was more than happy to have Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray.
Very glad to steal Murray for you guys. It's only because like 3 other quarterbacks got taken from
Yeah.
me right before I picked.
Yeah, well, the only other, like, I went into it with 3 quarterbacks in mind. I was going to do Kyler Murray really late, Jameis Winston roughly around where he went, and I was going to use one of my first picks on Baker. Yeah. Like, I probably would have taken Baker with my first pick if he got to me, but he was drafted in the first round, wasn't he?
I talked with Zum about this earlier, but like quarterback was the hardest thing for me to pick in this league because 11 people have quarterbacks.
Right.
So there's a ton of value. Like I think it was Roethlisberger. When Roethlisberger went, he went real late, and in a normal
15.
draft, I'd value him at like round 7 or something.
Right.
But
in round
it's
15.
like, why would you take him? Because everybody
Already has a quarterback.
Yeah.
I could just wait and get him next round.
If you're at no risk of being caught by the run,
yeah.
then wait.
You know what sucks, though, is, like, not only did Roethlisberger go real late, but he also went 4 rounds after Jameis Winston to the same team.
Yeah.
So that's kind of frustrating. But that's another thing. Like, Chris is either going to trade one of them or drop one of them. Because, like, one of those 2 quarterbacks, if not both of them, are going to score a shitload of points.
Yeah.
And there's no point in having both of them. But anyway, whatever. Number 1 team so far.
He could play matchup. He could play matchup off of that because
Yeah.
you got 2 quarterbacks who are going to throw a ton.
Personally, I hate that. I hate playing matchup.
Yeah.
I hate that headache.
Because you always get it wrong. Like, every time I try and play a matchup, I always get it wrong.
Yeah.
That's the one great
Every
thing
time.
about this league. You never have to worry about who you're starting.
Yeah. It's really the only
It's
choice.
locked in every week.
Yeah.
You're only starting who you actually have available. That's it.
So we're moving on to my Dixie wrecked,
Yeah.
and I don't like
Is
this
that
team.
so?
Well, hey,
That Jerick McKinnon situation sucks.
yep.
Yeah, that's
Didn't
such a bummer.
one of you didn't have this as the worst keepers?
I had
I
the
did.
worst keepers.
Okay.
Oh no,
I don't know
No,
if that
I had Smacked by D's.
he had smacked by D's boys, but I had this as the worst
these
keepers.
keepers are rough.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta say this is the worst.
And the draft was alright.
like he didn't even keep a single wide receiver.
And he didn't pick a wide receiver until
He kept acting.
Oh my
wow.
god!
Wow.
yeah, he's screwed.
But that's the point. He
Yeah.
didn't keep a single wide receiver.
Debo Samuel was the first wide receiver taken,
yeah, and he has 3, but they all are terrible.
and Chris Conley.
Mike Williams is good.
I used
He
to
didn't
work
have-
with that guy.
Did he have him?
Who? What?
Yeah, Mike Williams has potential.
That's gonna
That's
be
a WR2.
It's
but
gonna be like real interesting to see who's starting on that team. Week
This
one.
this is going to be the worst team.
'Cause
Like he's probably not going to break 200 week 1.
McKinnon.
Is that guy's name Noah Fart?
No
No
offense.
Worst team.
If it was Noah Fart, best team.
Best team.
Wait a minute. So okay, and also, unless I'm missing something here, he took 4 linebackers.
One of whom is
That's it?
retired. He has Delvin Smith.
He didn't take a single
He doesn't have a
DB.
secondary, so he immediately has to drop 2 of these players.
Well, okay, so
Who's he even
You can
going to
play
drop?
three.
the good thing is
Play
he's
three.
going to drop Delvin Smith because Delvin Smith's retired.
Oh,
See,
Jesus.
the best part
Hey,
about
this isn't as bad as we thought.
Yeah, Jimmy usually watches these videos, so and we shit on him in every single video.
God,
But he
I
gives
love-
us a reason to shit on him in every single video.
Yeah, the Telvin Smith pick was a boner, but Joe Schobert is amazing.
Look,
He's
Jim,
a wonderful, wonderful linebacker.
Jimmy, I love you to death. I'm so happy you're in our league. You typically don't come to the draft, and then in years past you've been like, oh, it was rough. I was drunk. I made some stupid decisions. But you didn't drink a single drop of beer here. I'm thinking that, like, he doesn't even drink in past years either. This is just standard Jimmy.
He's got water in the can.
Right.
The thing is, I like the Devin Singletary pick because I was hoping to get him, but I never, in my wildest dreams, expected him to be gone before I even picked.
Yeah, 7th round. Oof.
Well, the Telvin
Ooh.
Smith pick's great because it keeps it alive that every year I've been in the league, someone's been drafted that will not play a single snap. Like, we know, guaranteed, will not play a single snap.
Right.
So I'm glad that streak continues. This team's terrible.
Yeah, it's 16 for sure.
16.
I'm like his starting
Gothic
wide
assholes just
receivers
moved
for
up.
week 1 are going to be, what, Aguilar, Crowder, and
Mike Williams.
like his 3 keepers, which are bad.
And
And his running backs are going to be Lindsey and Singletary.
The path to being good is hitting on one of these people on this team, and I just look at this team, and I don't see anyone that is going to be worth keeping next year.
Like,
Debo Samuel.
Maybe
Nyheim
Lindsey.
Hines.
Maybe Lindsey.
Perhaps.
Maybe Singletary. Okay, so fine. There's 3. It's all.
But they're all like
crapshoot,
question marks.
Yeah. But there's
I'll give
potential
him credit.
there.
I like Njoku.
Yeah.
I think with Baker, Njoku's going to have a good season.
There's a lot of mouths to feed in that
He
offense.
could be a top 5 tight end this year. That's the only positive thing.
The
I see
problem
about
with
this team.
having Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. on your team is that they will bitch as soon as they don't get their 100 targets.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's going to make everyone else have a harder time getting points.
But if they're as good as the pundits say they are, they'll be scoring a lot. I don't have a lot of faith in that. This is gonna
They
happen.
play in a difficult.
You never know.
They play in a difficult division for offensive production. But yeah, that team's
That is
terrible.
a-
That is number 16. Sorry, Jimmy. You seem like a nice guy. You are not doing well in this year. Dylan's team, another nice guy.
Yeah.
Actually, I like this team.
This team looks pretty strong,
Yeah,
Dylan
in my
got
opinion.
he's in my
him
division.
getting that second first-round pick is huge.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd and David Johnson.
Yeah, even
That's
Kenyon
fantastic.
Drake, they won't commit to using him, but he is a good running back on
He
a
is-
terrible team, and he is a pass catcher on a team that's going to have to be passing the ball a lot. So
Yeah.
I like Kenyon Drake.
The Dolphins are tanking this year, and I don't think Ballage. Is it Kevin Ballage? I don't think.
Kenyon Ballage.
No,
Kenyon Ballage.
Kenyon Ballage. Okay. Kenyon Drake and Kenyon Ballage?
No, it's not Kenyon. I got those confused.
Kalen
Kalen Ballage.
Ballage.
Yeah.
I think it's Ballage. It's
Who
French.
has him?
It's
Big
French.
whoop.
Who cares?
Yeah,
It's
it's
Kalen Ballage.
sophisticated.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Drake's the better bet for higher scoring
Love
because
the
of
Drake.
his pass. Love the Drake.
Love the Drake.
Love the Drake.
well,
Because of his pass catching prowess.
Yeah,
you still talking about Dylan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like his defensive players.
Still
I-
talking about
I like his team overall. He
I love
has a
really
number one
40
kicker in Justin Tucker.
He does.
Yeah.
And I love that he got Johnson. Johnson was my number 1 pick if I were number 1. So
Oh, yeah.
And
David
MVS.
Johnson's just falling to second pick. I love it.
Yeah.
MVS is a great pick.
Tyler Boyd is a great pick.
I wanted MVS. I was pissed when he took him.
Yeah.
I pretty much, like, ripped up my plan. once I took him.
Jalen Samuels has
And Michael
huge,
Gallup. I
huge
wanted Gallup,
upside
too.
too.
Gallup.
Back
Gallup
to
good.
If they let him play. So yeah, Dylan's team. I think that's one of the better upgrades.
And
for
his
the draft.
defense is good.
Yeah.
As long as Dylan keeps up with his team this year, I think he's got a pretty good chance to make the playoffs for sure.
Number
His
8.
weak spot, I think, is quarterback, actually.
Right number 8.5.
Well, yeah, because Carr and Mariota.
Yeah, I hate
Carr, we don't know what's going to happen. with
Mariota
that whole
might not be
situation.
the starter.
Mariota, I really don't like. Generally,
We on plates.
yeah, I love his defense.
I think he's
Devin
probably
Bush,
the best team
Onawasu,
we've rated so far.
Anthony Barr, Swearinger is awesome. I had him last year.
Anthony Barr is an awesome real life player. He had one good fantasy scoring year, but the past couple of years, for whatever reason, they've taken him out a lot of
Oh yeah, for the
He's
a
just
lot
used
of
as a
formations.
He's not used as anything else.
yeah. He used to be a big tackle machine and lots of fumbles, and he even had a couple touchdowns.
Yeah. Smacked by these boys. His team sucked to begin with, and it got a little better. But
Tough keepers.
Yeah.
Only could
Tough
go up.
keepers.
Yeah, that's right. First year in the league, you got to start at the bottom somehow. I mean, he might win. That's the way it typically goes in this league. But I don't know how he gets there.
So I think the unfortunate pick is he took Tony Pollard.
A
Yeah,
little
Browns.
early.
Like way
And
early.
I think about an hour after he took him, I saw that it looks like Zeke is probably signing.
Yeah.
We'll be ready week 1. If all that comes to pass, then that's not a good pick. I guess it's a handcuff, but
But he doesn't have
yeah.
the starter. So
Yeah, his starter is Mark Ingram. Who's Mark play for now?
Mark Ingram's on the
Baltimore.
Ravens. Mark Ingram is a great keeper.
Yeah.
The way that they're going to play football.
yeah,
running the ball.
he's as good as a keeper as
Run the ball.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Seattle's no longer the most runningest team
Yeah.
in the league. 'cause
If
it's
you
gonna
look
be
at those
Baltimore.
5 keepers, Ingram is definitely the best one.
You think
Yeah.
so?
The only reason that
Oh, yeah,
Seattle was the
definitely. Yeah.
number 1 running team last year is because Lamar Jackson didn't start the whole season.
Right.
But they are still number 2.
I like the Sony Michel pick. He looked great in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the rotation that the Patriots don't care about your fantasy football team.
Yeah, you never know when
And they'll just
it's
bench
going to
him.
be Burkhardt or
Yeah.
I forget who the other guy was that went like the 16th round that I'd never heard of before. I'm sure we'll have at least one game with
Again,
4 TDs.
everybody.
You'll
is
know him by
forgetting
the end of
about
the
James
season.
White,
James White
except
is
for
another
straight
one.
cash homie.
Yeah.
James White was targeted over 100 times last year in the pass game. Had 87 catches. And I think I actually took him where straight cash homie took him.
I tell you what. He did what he needed to do, and I think he put himself in a position to get a top 5 pick next year. He's not going to make the playoffs. He's not going to get the number 1 overall pick.
But he's going to be competitive in the bottom.
Yeah.
He did what he needed to do as somebody that just came in this year,
Well,
took over the not ranked 16 team, and doesn't really have anything to work with.
right. In the scariest.
Congratulations, you didn't fuck up.
Yeah, like I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have him in the league. Super sweet guy, really nice.
He is a really
But-
nice guy, and that dip was the shit, dude.
Yeah,
that was, like, awesome.
that dip was great. But the thing that scares me the most is the conversation I had with him afterwards, where he was talking very intelligently about his plan to make this team good. Because he knows that he doesn't have a chance this year, but he was talking about things that somebody the first time in a league like this shouldn't have a grasp of yet.
Historically, he has the best chance this year.
Yeah, I know.
People coming into the league do have a lot of success.
It scares me. It scares me. It's going to be another person with not even like I'll have 10 times as much experience in this league with that will win before me.
I look forward to playing him in the championship game.
You son of a
That's an
bitch.
asshole. I don't think your head would have fit in that hat if I would have brought it. Night Wings.
My phone's over there.
I'm gonna let out the cackles.
The Nightwing.
That's why I think. I mean, Dylan was always the bottom of our division. I think he's moving up towards the middle to the top, actually.
With
that
this draft, yeah,
I
absolutely.
think so. Because Night Wings, I don't know. I'm looking at this team, and he's got Kuechly in the 8th round, which is not surprising. But also, it's
Okay.
not actually out of line because Darius
That's-
Leonard started the run.
That is typical Austin.
Yeah, you knew it was going to happen. I'm actually surprised someone didn't just do it before him to make him mad. Because it would have. But I like the Marlon Mack jersey. He's doubling down.
I hate it.
Yeah, he's doubling down
God, I
on
hate
the,
it so
the Mack
much.
attack, who is destined to be worse this year than he was last year.
Like, he specifically ordered a Peyton Manning jersey that was large enough for me to wear, to force me to wear last year. Like,
It's a huge waste of money.
but he's going to hold on to it to rub it in my face and constantly use it as, like, a betting tool for, like, any time something comes up.
Sounds like something that, you'll stick with for the rest of your life.
God.
It's a good thing you invite him into the league. Those Lee brothers, they're heck of nice guys.
Bill Rudd was on to something. I ruined this league by inviting a whole bunch of people he didn't know.
Yep, that's right. And
That
now
is
look at
it.
them. They all come in, they beat us, and end up, teasing you with jerseys that I don't understand the bet. But Nightwings, I don't know if he made himself much better with this team.
I'll say as a homer that I think he reached for
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
That could end up being like the pick of the draft if the whole Ravens offense thing works.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is,
He looks like he's going to be great, but I don't know if I would have taken him as early as he did.
the right thing for a
Now, if it
quarterback
was-
who has no accuracy is to get the fastest guy in the draft, which is what they supposedly did because he didn't run, so no one knows. But
Now,
he
if this
looks
was
fast.
downtown Philly Brown, from the Ohio State University, we'd be having a different discussion.
Yeah. But I look at the rest of the draft, and I think his defense is okay. He actually took a break on defense after Kuechly, which is surprising.
Yeah.
I would have thought, with his history, he would have he would have hammered it. He's not a Ravens fan.
I know, but he did.
He's a Colts fan.
He's got Earl Thomas. He's got Hayden Hurst.
He's got Terry McLaurin. Who's that?
I gotta say, this team, if you take Elliott and Mack off of it, and Ertz, this is like 15-16 for me.
Yeah, with Elliott back, he
Yeah.
obviously has a chance. That's what got him.
I put him at 8
Okay.
with them.
I think we put a lot of people at 8 so far.
We're a middling league. But
Yeah, that's right. Everyone's
Okay,
just
so 8
okay.
is the top of the teams that we've reviewed so far.
I'm number 1.
your running backs are
Going
weak.
up.
Yeah.
I think that you are better than this team, so
I'm better
I
than like
think-
5 other teams you've named.
I'm not talking about you, Mary. It's not all about you, damn it.
Yes, it
No, I think Mary's team's better than this team
Isn't
too.
Yeah.
Delaney Walker like 36?
Yeah.
Didn't play at all last year or
An
something.
ACL tear. Everyone.
But that's his second. That's his second tight end though.
Yeah,
Okay, that's true. He does
He's got
have
Zach
Ertz, so
Ertz.
it doesn't matter that much.
yeah.
But he also has Hayden Hurst.
He's
So.
got 3 tight ends.
Hey, he's high on the position. Got a lot of potential there. I think, like from what we've seen so far, I like Dylan's team. I like Justin's team.
All right. He's
I
got
like Tree
he's
Stump.
got Nick Foles and Sam Darnold. Like his quarterback position sucks.
No, Sam Darnold was his first quarterback.
I don't think Nick Foles in the 21st round is all that bad.
No,
As a backup quarterback, I agree.
Yeah,
but
to start
but
Sam
he's
Darnold.
Yeah, you're right. He's
the
kinda weak
the
at
problem.
quarterback.
Nick Foles
I would
is
start
better
Foles
than
over
Sam
Darnold.
Yeah, I
any
would
day.
too.
Darnold is just a massive question mark.
Big Dick
He's
Nick.
got no
man.
weapons.
All he does is win.
He's got Robbie Anderson.
The convict.
Quincy and Newell.
Week 4.
And Newell.
Week 4 he does.
Jamison Crowder. Don't forget about Jamison Crowder.
Didn't even know Crowder was on
I
that.
thought he was a
There you
Redskin.
So I'm gonna say maybe 10 then. I don't know if he cracks the top half.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think so. So number 10 for Nightwings.
Okay.
Slemmer.
I hope somebody watches this and puts these rankings in order because I'm not keeping a
Yeah,
running
so
tally.
we knew we had to write it down. But
So in case no one saw this, Slimmer already has the first person to draft on the trading block. Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz.
is available.
all right, yeah, 2 quarterbacks
A
because he
10th
forgot
round,
what he was
10th
drafting.
round pick.
But the thing is, in the end, I like Carson Wentz better than I like Kirk Cousins. So maybe he should be trading Kirk Cousins because it's got a
Anyone
keeper
gonna want
contract
to take
on
that
it.
contract?
I don't think so.
No.
Nobody wants Kirk.
That's the problem, the
Yeah.
contract.
So I mean, the thing is, he started off weak because of Kareem Hunt, and because that's it.
Wow, I didn't realize. So Kareem Hunt will be out the first 10 weeks. Is
10
that
weeks.
true?
Yeah,
10
he
weeks?
actually just had surgery for. A
He'll
sports
be
surgery.
he'll
He
be
has
back
two
week
very,
10.
very solid running backs at the top before Hunt.
Right, and Hunt
And
is
then
he's
he
just
has
stuck with because he had 3 years left.
Alexander, is that Madison?
Yeah, that is the backup,
Back up
to
to
Dalvin
Dalvin
Cook.
Cook.
Okay.
So
His
that's
running
that's
backs
not the
suck.
greatest
that's
situation, but
banking
it's
on
also
a
not bad.
ACL tear there.
So if he doesn't have injuries, he's got like 2 of the best top end running backs.
Yeah, and then he's
Yeah,
got Brandon
he
Cooks,
has.
who's a good receiver. He's got
D.D.
Westbrook,
Westbrook,
who
who's
I
real
like.
high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard, number 1 option in the Giants.
a team that I don't want really any part of.
No.
No, I don't
If you're
either.
gonna have a part of it, you might as well have the person who
He has
potential
Keyshawn
to-
Johnson.
He does.
Forgot about
Oh
Keyshawn.
yeah! Wow, he's back.
Keyshawn Johnson.
He was he was a preseason star for the Cardinals, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it
Doesn't
could mean
mean anything.
something.
He's got Irv Smith though.
Yeah, Irv Smith.
It's
the
also
second
worth-
tight end.
It's also worth pointing
Wait a
out that
second.
he has Gronk.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
We
Forgot,
we
yeah.
forgot about Blair
In the
Walsh.
11th round,
11th or yeah, well 15.
15th round.
So Slemmer was
Gotta
the
get
guy who
those
drafted
rights.
Gronk.
So if,
Yeah,
if
get those
Gronk
rights to
returns,
Gronk.
he has Gronk.
Yep.
That's not. There's no way that's happening.
No.
I don't almost bet this house on the fact that it's not happening.
Due to the strength of his 2 starting running backs, I would put him at number 9 in front of Nightwings. Maybe.
Yes. Currently 3rd in our division.
There you go. So, big whoop.
It's very sad. That's the weakest team in our division.
It really is sad. That is the weakest team in our division.
All right, I'm gonna start writing stuff down.
Okay. Big whoop.
Like
I was
has
gonna do
nothing
that
to
like
do with
that.
fantasy football.
2 hours
Just
ago.
like your inner thoughts. Jerk.
Chips are good.
Big whoop. We didn't like his keepers.
Oh, there it is. Kalen Ballage.
Yeah, Kalen Ballage. He could be
Who did we
something.
say is the worst? Dixie Rock?
Dixie Wreck.
Oh,
was
hell yeah.
definitely the worst.
Yes.
Gothic Assholes wasn't much better.
And Smacked by These Boys is we just
So,
saw on the back of the keepers.
Yeah, let's go. Dixie Wreck 16, Smacked by These Boys 15,
Yeah.
Gothic Assholes 14.
Yeah. So far.
And everyone else somewhere in the middle.
Gothic assholes.
Yeah.
Goth ass.
So what's the exact situation with AJ Green? I know that
AJ
he's
Green
still-
is he did not get put on the physically unable to play list, so he's
Targeting
able,
week 8.
Yeah, he's able to come back before.
but
what
he's
is that?
going to miss time.
He's
at the
missing
beginning
time.
of the
He's
season.
at the beginning of the season, but he
Okay.
has legitimate WR1 upside whenever
Yes.
he's in it. So it's fine. Like, that's the thing. I think we all undervalue people who are suspended. That's why he has Julian Edelman.
Yep.
Get taken in
Yeah.
like the 3rd or 4th round of this league when they really shouldn't.
Jesus.
He
Well,
took
that's-
him in the 1st round of this
Yeah.
league.
Ben,
I'm fine with it.
I think Big Whoop's #1 right now.
When I look at his wide receivers, I don't care that he took him because
Right.
he's got Jeffrey, he's got Allen Robinson, he's got Josh Gordon, he's got Marvin Jones. Those 4 wide receivers alone are a really good set
Yeah.
in this league.
And even Cole Beasley, as a bye-week fill-in, is going to get 3 or 4 catches.
After Kamara, his running backs are a pretty big question mark.
Yeah, Geis could be good, but he could split time with Peterson. Balaj could be good, but he plays on the worst offense in the league and might split time with Kenny and Drake. So he's weak at running back other than Kamara. He's strong at receiver. He's got a decent tight end in Evan Ingram.
I think
He's got
Ingram's top
freaking
tier.
Josh Gordon, who will disappoint him before he makes him happy.
Yeah.
But he has the potential when someone's got to do it, and that's probably the right time to do it. So Baker Mayfield, everyone loves his potential
I do, yeah.
until they fall flat on their face because they're the Browns. But yeah, the team's good. I'd say we're gonna go with 7. Yeah.
Every
It's
team
funny
in the league
because
is gonna
every
be
team is 7.
or worse.
I put him at least
6?
5.
Ooh, 5.
Yeah, I'd have to see like what, because the last couple teams are all really good because of the keepers, and it makes sense because they were the teams that
Right.
were at
Right.
the top of the playoffs. But his team looks great. The biggest knock I have on his team is I'd like it better if he had Antonio Brown. instead
Yeah,
of Alshon
that's
Jeffrey.
true.
Me too.
Just personally.
Yeah. Yeah, the trade in the end doesn't seem like it worked out for him. But if Antonio
Maybe you
Brown
can trade
falls
back.
apart, then it worked out for him because Alshon Jeffrey will do
I said I would
something.
like his team better if it had Antonio Brown.
That's what I mean. You could give him Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
But I like my team better with.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. The thing is, Alshon Jeffrey will actually do something all year, whereas Antonio Brown might decide tomorrow that he's not going to play football anymore.
That's a
Yes.
pretty bold statement there. I'm just kidding. Alshon Jeffrey doing something.
Yeah.
All right. So next is the team
Armchair
we've
quarterbacks.
We've all been waiting to
Yeah.
talk about.
We don't like it. Well, I talk for everybody all the time. But
That's fine.
you know,
It's very monochromatic.
yeah, it is kind of. It's kind of stark when I look at this screen.
It shows a lot of heart.
Does it?
Grit.
Are there more white people in the league?
Kiko Alonso.
Oh man, Jeff.
Well, I mean, he's going to be starting Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true. The biggest homer pick of them all.
Ty
Let's take the
Johnson,
hometown
Mike
hero.
Brown.
But we called it. We called it before it happened. It was going to be a Lee
Holy
brother.
shit! Not only was Ty Johnson taken in the 9th round, but like he only drafted one other running back after that.
Ty Johnson
CJ
was taken
Procise.
before
Procise.
Geronimo Allison, Kiki Kuti, Deshaun Jackson,
Adrian Peterson,
Carlos Hyde, Peterson.
Peyton Barber.
An actual starting running back.
Wow.
Oh man. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. This team is not good. He's got good receivers though.
Yeah,
Juju's great.
Juju Cooper Cup.
Cortland Sutton's definitely going to have his best year this year.
Bean
Adam
King.
Thielen is amazing.
See, the problem with Sutton is he's, a third wide receiver keeper, but he's essentially a wide receiver 3, like,
Yeah.
in my book. So it's not like he's gaining value by keeping him. Like, that's essentially...
Yeah, he was kind of forced into that, wasn't he?
So really, the team's not bad because like his top 3 receivers: Cup, Thielen, Schuster. That's a great. Chris Carson and Tariq Cohen is your top 2 running backs. He's great. Vance
That's fine.
McDonald is your tight end. Is pretty good.
Not bad.
And
Not
then
bad.
there's just nothing.
Yeah.
You got Daniel Jones though.
Kiko Alonso's in New Orleans now.
New Orleans,
He
yeah.
was traded for a guy. His name's Bagel.
The bagel.
Yeah, the defense is pretty good. It's so hard to rank defenses.
Kevin Byard's good.
Hunter
Eric Weddle's
Renfro
good.
is his first bench player.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ty
Technically
Johnson.
Sutton would be.
Yeah, Ty Johnson.
Ty
is his
Johnson.
first
Ty
bench
Johnson came many rounds before already.
My favorite is Dallas Goedert, because he's a backup tight end on his real team.
Right.
He's
Like, there's a lot of other starting tight ends that
He's more blocking tight end too.
And he's got 3 quarterbacks.
yeah,
And that's going to really help out in the long run.
yeah. That's
It's good. He's got 1 2/3.
Yep.
Shout out to CJ Precise, who was the 4th string running back on
So
Seattle.
I probably got him at 13.
He had to handcuff.
No, 12.
He had to handcuff
12.
Chris Carson's
I'm fine.
handcuff.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. 12.
That's true.
We'll put armchair quarterback at 12 because of the strength of his receivers.
I'm
I'd
okay.
have to rank him higher than that.
11? Is that how we're going up to 11?
Again, the skill positions are the biggest thing in this league, and he's got good skill positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
But he doesn't have a bye week replacement for any of them.
Exactly. That's why we put him.
But
that's
they're only
once
on
again-
bye once.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And we're only, unless they are on bye on the
You
same
just
week.
flex someone in.
Yeah.
Maybe he's some kind of guru and we didn't notice. Every single player on his team has a week 7 bye week or something.
Maybe.
He's just
So-
going to
Yeah,
sacrifice that
it's
single
just
week.
1 week.
Who is his starting quarterback? Cooper Kupp? No,
No,
that's not
Goff.
quarterback. Goff. The person who throws to Cooper Kupp.
He's got Goff, Brissett, and Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I guess if my backup quarterbacks were that bad, I might pick up an extra one too. Just putting it out there. Straight Cash Homie voted #1 team name. Just don't tell him.
Yeah,
And,
don't tell him.
His keepers, while still great, step back from where he used to be. Tried to make shady trades with Todd Gurley because he doesn't believe in him. So he's got great receivers.
I like
Apparently-
Jameis Winston.
Where's
Look,
his running backs at?
I gotta give him credit though. He gets shit all the time for the ridiculous one-sided trades that he offers and makes, and he just keeps doing
He
it.
keeps doing it. He doesn't care.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing
All
about
this
that.
criticism that we give him, it doesn't bother him at all.
Not
which is-
even
Well, no,
remotely.
because why would it bother you if people accept the damn trade?
I know.
Like we're all like,
That's
these are
why
such
it
stupid
bothers us.
trades.
I don't care if he's spitting out stupid trades
Yeah.
into the void, but if they're
Yeah.
going through and they're not going through to me,
You should be bothered with the people that are taking the trade.
Yeah.
Like
I-
they're screwing up here.
Yeah, and I told him and I told Justin whenever we turned the video off last week, whoever picks Jameis Winston is who I'm picking to win this league. And I'm really pissed off that
I know.
it's him,
I know.
but that's high upside right there.
He, to me, got 2 very good value picks. He got Golden Tate at 10 in the
Yeah,
10th
I like
round,
that
which
pick.
was great. I wanted to take him. And then he got Roethlisberger at 15.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
sucks.
Despite the fact that that's his backup QB, that's a Roethlisberger in any other league that didn't have 11 quarterbacks on roster before the draft would absolutely be gone in the first couple rounds.
Yeah, and
I want to agree with you because as somebody who's had Golden Tate on their team for 5 years,
Tate on their team.
Golden Tate on my taint. I want to agree with you, but I know how disappointing he's been over the past couple of years, and I don't see it getting better now that he's on the Bills.
Yeah.
and taking lady steroids.
Well, no, he's on the
The Giants.
He's on the Giants.
Is he on the Bills or the Giants? One of those two.
He's a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ladies steroid.
I'm tempering my expectations for him. I think his running backs are real weak.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised that
That's true.
when I look at this now after the fact, I was like a lot of the picks that he made, I was kind of frustrated by because I kind of wanted them.
Mhm.
Like James White, obviously, but that was even before I had any chance to get anybody. But the Golden Tate one, I was gonna try to get him that round. But now I'm looking at the overall draft, and other than the quarterback value that he got out of that, and James White, I don't know if I like all those players now.
Yeah.
He did not
I like the
make
Dare
up for
pick.
losing
David Johnson.
David Johnson at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like the
James
Dare
White
pick
will be
like
a good fill-in just because of the receiving value there in this 2-point per reception league. But
James
What?
White was consistently like a 35 point a week.
Bring it to me.
so.
On my team.
But overall, I don't think this team is not anywhere near the team he had last year that he did not win with. And
I'm
so
sure you
therefore,
couldn't just
I'm
toss it to me.
calling it right now. He will not win this year with this team. I hope.
So where would you rank him? About 12?
I'm gonna go with
7.
5. I'm gonna go with 5.
5?
Yeah, I've got him in the top.
Maybe 4 actually. Now I'm
Low tier 1, high tier 2.
I don't know that I like his team as much as a couple of the others we've just looked at.
Yeah, definitely not as good as mine.
He's fallen from last year. That's
Yeah, I mean he was legit number 1 last year with no doubt.
But
And
I don't remember divisions, but he's probably a playoff team again.
Oh, he's going to win that
Absolutely.
division.
Yeah.
He's in your division, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna look at Jordan's.
I don't know. We haven't got there
Yeah.
yet.
Well, now we're to the best 3 teams.
That's
What-
right.
what is
the
it?
best 3
That's
teams
true.
because
Our
we
third place last year.
3rd place last year
Yeah.
just for funds.
3 of the 4 of us here are like rounding out the
What
last.
was it? We average a championship and
Yeah.
a quarter.
Yeah.
Four of us.
Between the 4 of us, we've won 5 championships. So keep that in mind.
About to be 6.
Yeah, about to be 6.
Someone
the odds
here-
are high.
Someone in this room, and I want to point out that Mary is also in this room. Someone in this room is going to win the championship this year.
Yeah.
Between the 5 of us, we each have a championship.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, the thing you got a couple good picks here. You really love Adrian Peterson.
Yeah,
Well, I don't love him, but he is a starting running back in the 8th round, so
Yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
going to
good.
take him.
Corey-
That's where I got him last year, too.
Royce Freeman, I think, has the potential to take over something from Philip Lindsay, but that's a whole mess. Their running back situation is a mess because they want to use them all,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
someone might come out from that, and it might be Royce Freeman.
I looked at the stat sheet, and you look at statistics like yardage per carry and broken tackles and everything like that. Like he rates higher, but Philip Lindsay still gets all the carries.
Right.
So I'm hoping that he continues to be a better on paper player, and they give him more
Yeah.
things. But also, I feel like I reached for him.
It's hard
But-
to say. At
Yeah,
that
but
point,
you
it's
look
hard to
at-
say you're reaching for anybody.
Exactly. I was like, I need a running back, and I know that this guy's going to produce a little bit. So.
Listen, I took LaShawn McCoy next. Royce Freeman is a 10 times better pick than LaShawn McCoy.
See, I don't know
10
about
times
that, though.
better.
It obviously hurt you a little not having a first rounder, a 6th rounder.
Oh,
but,
definitely,
But on the
definitely.
same end, you have Dalvin Cook now
Yeah.
when you
that
wouldn't
was
have
a
otherwise.
significant
so
upgrade.
that's ended up being a great.
Dalvin Cook
great
over
move.
Jordan Howard is
Yeah.
big. I'm
And if
very
he can
happy
stay
with that.
healthy,
And that
he's
is
got
the
it.
understatement of the season.
And I like some of the other stuff you did. I mean, I wanted to take Lamar Jackson that same round, and I think you.
I
did a
felt like
smart-
such a badass taking 2 quarterbacks in a row.
you did a smart thing because if Lamar takes off and blows it up, you got him. If he doesn't, Rivers is an absolutely solid quarterback.
Says the man
And-
who had him the past 2 years,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and one championship.
Rivers is a
with
championship
Rivers.
quarterback.
Yeah.
It's true. He's not flashy, but he puts up numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, we say he won the championship with Rivers,
Well,
but he benched him to play.
He got me to the
Foles.
game.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
You just got to get to the game.
That's right.
You
He
gotta get
gets
to
a
the game.
ring
And
because
what-
of it, but it wasn't because of his efforts.
And you join Jeff as the only other team, drafting back-to-back quarterbacks too.
Hey.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
But it was his
did,
second and
yes.
third. Yep.
Yeah.
Your first
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I
second.
did it first, damn it.
Yep. And you got Darren Waller, superstar of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, man. Which is still
And
a reach.
he's super, like
It's
the
still a reach.
super chill football player. That's like the most chill
Oh.
person that plays football, who's been through apparently the worst drug addiction
Right.
of all time.
Dude, honestly, that's why I picked him, because he's like, I was getting high every day on cocaine and pills. I was like, that sounds
That's
like the
my
coolest
guy.
shit I ever heard. You're on my team.
I want to hang out with this guy.
Yeah, this guy sounds
He knows how to
legit.
party. And then you got Wayne Gallman,
Oh
man.
man,
I like-
The sleeper of the draft.
I like that he was. I like that he was like, man, giving up drugs is hard. But then I thought, make it to the NFL is hard too, and I did that. So I'd probably give up drugs.
He's a smart guy.
Like,
Yeah.
I
And he did
I
it.
could probably do it.
You took my boy Raquel Armstead. And
Oh my god.
You just kept
I had
talking about him. I couldn't
had
ignore him.
I had him pegged as my last running back on the board. He was the final running back I would even consider taking. And
Nobody
then
beneath him.
And then 2 rounds after that, you
Nobody.
took veteran of the 20th round, Wayne Gallman.
Oh, yeah. He is perennially the
He-
20th
he's-
round.
He's very usually one of the last 3 running backs taken in the draft.
He's one of the few people in fantasy football that has never risen or fallen.
Yeah.
And somehow still keeps his job.
Let me tell you, like, how frustrating it was to make that pick, because I'm like, there's not a whole lot of value here unless something happens to Saquon Barkley, and even if it does, it's not.
Bring somebody else in.
But he's got to get something at some point.
Gallman is the kind of backup that when your starter goes out, you make a trade to Houston to get their backup.
Yes, exactly. It's like, listen, man, we got Wayne Gallman over here. We'll pay for anybody. Send us Carlos Hyde.
You go out there, we're throwing it the rest of the game, and we're bringing in Carlos Hyde next
Carlos Hyde's coming in, jumping the pack.
He's jumping to the front of the line.
So he ended number 3 last year.
Yeah.
I think this team is slightly better than last year's, maybe.
So I traded. I think I'm slightly worse. I gotta say I'm slightly worse because I traded James White for Royce Freeman.
Okay.
And I think White is an upgrade.
Yeah, White is definitely an upgrade over that.
Especially as your number 2.
Exactly. I still have Adrian Peterson. I still have Jalen Smith. I had him last year. Yeah, I still have Traquan Smith.
You gotta keep that. You gotta keep the boys together.
So it's like you guys don't realize this, but like I really do know exactly, who was lost and who was gained and who they were.
All right, so
you
were
scouting.
3.
Yeah.
You have the scouting to know that they were worth their value then.
So we put him. I don't know. I still like the team though. So it's like 6.
If we ranked any team in the top 4,
Yeah, I think I gave.
teams left
I
to
have
talk
Dylan,
about.
Bloib, Slim, and Big Whoop as
Top tier.
so far
Top
the top
teams.
tier.
Okay. I would put this in like top to the lower top tier, maybe.
Yeah, I think this is
Lower
tier
top
2.
tier. Yeah.
I have no reason looking at your team to think that you won't be a top 4 team again this year.
Running back.
Running
Right,
back.
running
Solid
back.
running back, solid wide receivers.
Always
I love
a
your
question
quarterback
mark.
situation. You've got a good tight end. Your defense is solid.
You hear that, Jordan? Got yourself a good tight end.
Yeah, you never
Nice.
have.
I don't hear that very much.
Yeah.
Well, you used to have like 4 of them.
Yeah. It was just for tight ends for a couple of weeks. Oh, who did I have on my team?
You used to have Jordan Reed.
Everybody
I know
Jordan
that.
Yeah.
Reed.
You rotated them every week. So,
You only benched him whenever he had his best games.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
You gonna do good this week?
Those weeks he
Ride
wasn't
the
hurt.
pine.
Yeah. Going to my team, I think that if I look at my team, it is the most not good from keepers to where it ended up. I mean, I had picking LaShawn McCoy was just a knee-jerk reaction because I woke up this morning and I saw that he was on the Kansas City Chiefs, and I said, "Damn it, LaShawn McCoy, I'm not letting you ruin my year. You're going to be on my team, and I will bench you until maybe you're useful." So that was a wasted pick.
I hate
There's
Ronald
there's
Jones.
a psychological term for what you're going through, and it's called loss aversion.
Yeah.
You are desperately trying to hold on to the value that you gave LaShawn McCoy a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably
Perhaps
true.
to a detriment. However, I still don't think that that's necessarily a bad pick where you took him.
Yeah, it was.
He
yeah.
was signed
Well,
for a
you-
reason. He's back
Yeah.
with Andy Reid.
You had to.
He's going to be in a
Yeah.
familiar system.
Especially-
That's a fine pick.
Well, that's with what's left over too. The thing.
I'm not going to blow smoke up your
Yeah,
ass.
thanks.
It's a terrible pick.
It's a terrible pick. I agree.
It's not a terrible pick. You have
Not at all.
As
Terrible
the owner
pick.
of Damian Williams, you had to take him.
Because you were
Yes.
going to take him.
I was
potentially.
absolutely going to
So
take him.
I like
The-
the Anthony Miller pick. I don't like the Kiki Kuti
Yeah.
pick.
I'm the exact opposite.
Really?
I like the Kuti pick a lot.
Here's why I don't like
I'm
the
not
Kuti pick.
high on Anthony Miller.
I don't like the Kuti pick because they just traded for Kenny Stills. And that says a lot to me about...
But Kenny
Kenny
Stills,
Stills isn't gonna do
yeah,
anything.
Kenny Stills is out. He's a speed
Well, then-
receiver on the edges, and
Yeah.
Cootie is the PPR
But
monster
he's hurt.
potential. But he's hurt all the time. Yes.
He's hurt. And
So-
behind Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins for targets.
But even when Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins were in the game, he still was getting.
I don't
Will
disagree,
Fuller's
but-
hurt more than Kuti is.
Yeah. So
Fuller's gotten hurt the last 2 years.
That's true, but Cootie's only had 1 year and he's got hurt that year, so...
Yeah, the thing is, I gave up so much potential by taking McCoy because if you look through, say, Curtis Samuel, that was the person that I was debating taking.
Yeah.
And
Thank
he's on your team, isn't he?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Mary sent me a message, and I didn't see it, and I drafted him. And then, a couple seconds go by, and then it's her pick, and time's winding down. And then I flip over and see her message being like, hey, I'm thinking about taking him with my next pick.
And you did it.
And then I did it, and she
Yeah.
goes, I hate you so much!
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, that's great.
So I would have felt a lot better actually adding someone to my team who was playing and not trying to back up someone who already had playing. But it is what it is. I would put myself
You
probably...
still got Frank Gore.
Yeah, you did get
Yeah,
Frank
I did get
Gore.
Frank Gore, the timeless wonder.
I look forward
And,
to picking up Frank Gore around week 6 or 7.
Yeah, don't worry. I got to drop him around, I got to be 81 this year, so expect this whole team, everyone I drafted, will be on the waiver wire at some point in time.
I like Marquise Lee.
Yeah. I think at the time that I picked him, I mean, he was injured all preseason, and therefore no one talked about him, but he has potential.
You also drafted one of my least favorite players in NFL history,
Matt Stafford.
Rashad Perryman.
Yeah, that's all right.
Don't like that pick.
Because
I hate him so much.
he is
I had him
Actually
going in the
looked
40th
pretty good
round.
in Cleveland after being
That's
one of the
the,
worst receivers in the history of football.
That's the pick that I'm pretty much dropping immediately.
That's
Yeah, but he is the slot receiver for Tampa Bay, so who knows?
Lots
Whatever.
of targets.
But this team is.
He's
not,
Adam Humphries. He's
Yeah.
jumping in for Adam Humphries.
That's
A
true.
touchdown every 3 catches.
But this team is not as good as I had hoped it would be whenever I started out with the people I had. So
You're a Hunter Renfro away from being
a good team.
a good team.
Yeah. So I would put myself below Jordan's team.
You're a Randall Cobb
I think
away
I'm-
from being.
I'm giving myself number 8 like I'm giving everyone else.
So the hard thing with
I-
ranking
I-
your team
I think
is
you're
like
higher than that.
It's
I
not
don't
gonna
think
be the
it's
same.
nearly as good as it was last year.
Agreed.
It's
However,
still good.
you're still like orders of magnitude better than the rest of your division.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, the thing, I think Dylan made the biggest rise in our league.
Yeah,
I think that Big Whoop,
Big Whoop's got a good team.
it's just his keepers were not great, but his picks are good.
Yeah.
So,
The thing is,
so Nightwings is now our weakest link.
but the thing is
We're on the rise.
You're gonna win your division. Winning your division, even if you're third or fourth best winning, all you got to do is win one playoff game in your top 4.
Just
Yeah.
win, baby.
Just win.
Just fine.
Okay, fine. I'm still sticking myself. Like,
Fine, I'm
gonna
number
go-
1 team.
Number 7. That's as high as I'm going.
I'm convinced. Number 1. See,
We have like
That's-
7 teams between 7 and 10.
I'm putting myself number 4 because I'm gonna finish 5th or 6th
Okay.
regular season, but that's going to match me up against you first round,
And I'm gonna knock you out.
and I'm gonna beat you.
And I'm gonna. This is beautiful. This is.
I'm gonna outscore you.
perfect. This is perfect business hour rivalry.
You heard
right
it.
here.
You heard it
Going-
here
going through These
first.
teams, though, like
I'm better than some.
our division could get 4 playoff teams.
I know.
But
All
it,
4 of us could make the playoffs.
but it won't.
I don't
could,
know.
though.
3.
Is that
3 can
possible?
Make the playoffs. The 4th will never make the playoffs.
So if you split 50-50 with the teams in your league and then win all your other games,
Oh yeah, then you'd absolutely.
then
do that.
everybody in your team would
That's
make the playoffs.
unlikely. The hardest part of it is, but if you actually look at last year, I think Mary was like 9th or 10th in the standing rankings, and your team was bad. Never mind.
My team was bad, but no, the
2 years ago, it
the
was
year
close.
before, we had 3 people in the playoffs, and then Mary was in 9th
Mary
place.
was 9th. Yes,
Yeah.
that was
Missed
it.
it by 1. Ugh.
But that means her team
Jeez,
was good
Mary.
that year.
Fun
So-
stat. Mary has finished 7-6 all 3 years she's in the league. So,
She has a winning
Yeah,
record.
it's a fun stat.
She's perfectly average.
Go fuck
7-6.
yourself.
Better than average.
Well, I was gonna, yeah, she's 7-6 every year. She's better
Yeah.
than average.
Fair enough.
She 3 games above 500.
I don't know math.
All right, let's talk about a team that's been way above 500.
And that wraps our video. Thanks
Yeah.
for
Thanks for watching.
Thanks
Do you
for
remember when we did that last year? We,
Every time.
we reviewed everybody.
Every
that
time.
It
goes.
all started, so it wasn't even a thing until I mentioned it. Because you guys did the first video I'd ever seen, which was the keeper ranks.
This
And
was-
you legitimately went. You got to
Forever.
me and Chris Miller were the top 2. And you got to me and you said, all right, Ultra League team. This would be a really good team if we were any other league, but Chris Miller's in this league. And then you talked about his team for 7 minutes.
And we didn't do that on
You didn't
purpose
say
either.
a damn thing about my team. And then it became like a running joke
Well, the
until
running
about the
joke.
middle of the season.
The running joke
Yeah.
now is someone I said clearly it didn't work, so we're just going to talk about your team the most.
Cool.
Yeah.
The
That'll do
only
great
team,
things for my ego.
the
so
only
I'm
team
fine
we
with
talk
this.
about.
I do love the 4 running backs in a row.
Well,
Or
2 are
three
keepers,
running
and
backs
then
in a row.
my first 3 picks were all running backs.
Yeah. The thing is, as I said in the keeper video, I ranked you number 1 because you have the best setup of keepers that I like, which is 2 running backs, 3 receivers, all of them.
But as far as the 3 running backs that you drafted, I don't like any of them.
But I don't necessarily like any of them either, but one of them is going to produce.
I know.
One of the 3 will produce.
I
which gives
agree.
him-
I just don't like any
Yeah.
of them.
I will
I
openly
disagree.
admit I do not like Peyton Barber at all.
Yeah, no,
But
no.
He is a starting running back
I know.
on one
Yeah.
of the 32 teams.
Yep.
So taking him at that slot, I had to.
No.
I like Tevin Coleman a lot.
No, I don't
Because
like
I
it.
was between a couple people with my first pick.
I don't like
I
your
think
tight
Tevin
ends.
Coleman ends up the starter.
Yeah, the tight end is rough.
If Jordan Reed stays healthy, you're going to have like one of the better tight ends in the league, but it's such a huge question mark. He hasn't had a good year in a long time.
And you know what? If Kyler Murray doesn't pan out, I don't like your quarterbacks either.
Nah, that's why I took Brady.
But that's,
Murray's
that's
a-
like, I don't even
yeah.
like Brady.
Brady-
He's not going to be a
yeah.
superstar, but
Brady
Brady's-
doesn't win you the games, but he'll give you a consistent.
Brady has a
output.
floor,
Yeah.
and that's why I did that.
You're
Because
third
if
tier.
Murray doesn't pan out,
Third tier. Oh man, bold prediction.
You heard it here first.
dude, I got
Cody-
This is the year. This
I
is
got
the year that
value on
Cody
this
does
team.
not win
He doesn't.
the championship.
Yeah,
You
that's
heard
rough.
it here first.
Bold
I gotta-
prediction.
I'm down on my team too. I would only give myself maybe like a 30% chance this year.
Babu.
It's
Whose
ridiculous.
gonna be
whose
rough.
team did Cody inherit?
Angie's.
Well, if you, so
was Angie ever winning?
No, Angie was terrible, but had good keepers.
yeah, if you take DeAndre Hopkins off this team, you take Tyreek Hill off this team. I hate this team, but because they're both on there, I give.
If
him
you
the-
take the 2
yeah.
best wide receivers in the league off of the same team, then they're not good anymore.
Yeah, and so that with those 2 people on this
That's
team, I rank
a
them.
fair
I
statement.
rank them number 2.
No, but he's
So here's
he's
the
got arguably like the number 1 running back though.
The highest scoring running back.
McCaffrey,
Yeah,
and with the PPR that we do,
Yeah.
he's. I would still put Barkley ahead of him, but I
it'd
have
be
him-
close.
I would pay
best-
him second.
Best wide receiver in the NFL.
Yes.
And then like one of
The-
the highest scoring wide receivers
What?
in the NFL.
Like I
Terrible
understand.
human being, but a good.
Yeah,
No,
I
DeAndre
football
Hopkins.
player. Oh, I'm sorry.
DeAndre Hopkins
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
is my
Who were you talking about?
favorite.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, terrible keeping.
Four of my 5 keepers are my first and second pick the last 2 drafts.
That means that you were in a position
I
somehow.
picked 16th last year.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fine.
Every person in the league, well, not every person, because a couple people traded away picks, but
Yeah.
every person in the league could have had
Kerryon Johnson.
Kerryon Johnson last year.
And everyone could
I'm
have
okay
Tyreek Hill
that I
the year
don't.
before, 'cause that
Tyreek
was
Hill the
your
year before.
yeah, that was your 2nd round pick whenever you were pick number 2. But yeah, so I would give them number 2. Now that I've said that, I don't even know who's number 1. So
The
That's a
draft I think is not as strong as other drafts, but your keepers are so strong.
I
that
agree.
You're definitely a top tier team.
If we're just ranking drafts, I put you like 7th or 8th, maybe even 11th.
I don't think my draft's that strong, but that's sort of, I picked 16th.
Right, I know.
I
I
had
know.
15
No,
picks ahead of
yeah.
me
When I
every-
say
every
that,
round.
I don't mean
'Cause I
that
don't
like
really
you
love
did
my
bad.
draft either.
Yeah, and when I say that, I don't mean that like you did bad. I just
The-
mean like you look at the other teams and you were the last pick, and that's who.
Yeah.
Your draft accomplished giving me hope that somebody else will win because you have such
Nah.
a glaring hole at tight end and quarterback. If
Kyle
Kyler
Murray's
Murray
going to end up being
doesn't,
top 5.
I know.
Miles Boykin
I just don't want it
blow
to
up
be the
in
thing.
Baltimore. I'm gonna have a
Everybody's so
completely.
high
I'm gonna
on
have a,
Kyler Murray.
I'm gonna have a completely different defense by week 5, and it's all gonna be studs. I'm gonna get this year's Darius Leonard like
Sure.
week 2 or 3,
sure. Hopefully
your
someone doesn't
number
drop
one-
him to you this year.
or this will be the year that all my keepers finally get hurt.
That would be good.
Because
Too.
I only won last year because I had insanely good luck with injuries.
I'm okay with that happening as long as it's not McCaffrey because I have him in another league. But all your other guys, they're good to get hurt.
So that's a wrap, I guess. We talked about
But
this
who do
enough.
we think is number 1 though?
Number 1 overall?
Like who do we think has the best chance of winning this thing?
I would love to say me, but I don't think it is. So I'm not gonna say him because I hope to God it's
Yeah,
not.
nobody wants to see me.
I don't want Chris to win, so I'm gonna go rogue, and I'm gonna say Dylan's team.
I don't think that's rogue.
I think he's on the rise.
I think he's definitely on the rise. As far his draft was very, very good.
I think my division has 4 of the top 8 teams.
I agree.
Yeah.
To not bring any bias into this, I'm not going to say that I should be number one. I will just say that I think my division has 4 of the top 8 teams.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you have a better chance than most at being the number one team.
I think
Ultralight team.
overall, I think the league just came back together a little bit. Last year, there was the obvious front runners in you and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have both come back towards the pack a little bit. And there's a lot of people, like the real NFL, there's a lot of people who think they have a chance. And
Yeah, parity definitely got better this year.
I think it's going to be a more exciting year because of that.
I just... I don't know. See, I can't... Yeah, I agree. Because, like, I can't figure out which team stands out. Like, I don't think anybody stands out as the number one. But there's definitely 3 or 4 that stand out as the top.
I'm the same way at the bottom. I think there's, like...
Yeah.
There's maybe like 4 teams that I look at and be like, there's no way they're not going to win. And then there's like a middle pack where I could see any of those teams getting in the playoffs. And if you get in the playoffs, you could win.
You never know what happens.
That's all that matters. Yeah. Those last 3 weeks, anything could happen.
I think if defense matters, bringing the Chowder really helped himself. But the problem is he didn't get enough backup for the 2 players that he had to keep that aren't actually going to give him any use unless Melvin Gordon decides to sign a contract in the next couple of days. So,
but he got...
Well, no, he's not. He doesn't even have to sign a contract. He just has to show up and play because they're not apparently offering him a contract anymore.
I think between Cody, Jordan, and Mary.
Yeah.
You're taking Chris out of it?
I don't like his running back.
I don't either. Yeah, no,
because I mean, no one believes in Todd Gurley at this point, even him, because he tried to trade him.
So if I'm looking at teams, the position I'm most worried about on any team's running back, because even with wide receiver, if your wide receivers are terrible, there's probably someone on the waiver wire you can pick up that will at least get a couple points.
Yeah, his running backs suck.
And could potentially get a touchdown and give you some contribution. When you look at who we drafted at running back, there are people that will legitimately get 0 points.
Yeah.
Most weeks this season.
It's like
unless there's an injury.
Or they move more towards committees.
Yes.
And then you're going to be in a crapshoot. So
one
week to the next.
If I don't see like 2 good running backs and a 3rd decent running back, that immediately drops the team a bit to me. And that would be
check
the hardest.
That box.
Yeah. Well, that would be the hardest thing for Chris's team.
Yeah.
No, he went for wide receiver instead of running back.
I think I put...
Other than James White.
I think I put Chris 5th, but I think there's a gap between 4 and 5.
It'll be an interesting year.
Because I think it's you 4 in the top tier. Chris, me, Slimmer.
Oh, who's
right
that?
I don't know. Chris, me, Slimmer.
Pick 2 people that made the playoffs that miss.
Big whoop.
2 people that missed the playoffs that make.
So you're calling Big Whoops out?
Chris, you, Slimmer, and Big Whoop.
Who would be out? Who would come in if you were taking playoff teams out?
Mary and I would come in.
And Slimmer and Big Whoop go out? Maybe?
Big Whoop goes out. Maybe... maybe Nightwings.
See, I'd pick Slimmer to go out. Yeah, even though I like his team, I think he's the weakest team in our division, and it's going to be
tough. Yeah, that's true.
Because we play each other twice. I like Big Whoop's team. Like, I think he'll make it again.
Tier 1 and Tier 2 are all the playoff teams.
Yeah. And I like Dylan's team. I think Dylan could make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, no, and I was thinking about Dylan Tier 2.
I have Dylan in Tier 1.
Other than Derek Carr, is the top. His full suite of players. I mean, Kyle Rudolph is the weak link.
That is the weak link.
And who's going to start. But the rest of them are solid for wide receiver, running back.
Yeah, he's said with skill position
Yeah.
people. He's
Yeah.
very strong.
And he's even got some backup in Kenny Drake, who has potential in MBS.
See,
I'd say
I'd be.
MBS is great.
Now that you mention it, I think Dylan makes the playoffs just because his division sucks.
Thanks.
Because
I think his wide receivers are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
he splits with you, but if you and him split,
And then just
you're gonna
go
sweep
4-0
the
against your
other
people.
four. Yeah, I mean that alone's 5 wins. You
Well,
only need.
well,
Thing
wait
is,
a
I'm not
minute,
going to
though.
discount Ben because Ben,
Yeah.
ever since he came in the league, has beaten me.
That's
So-
true.
And
I
don't-
forgot. I
I
forgot
don't
Ben's in
remember
the.
the other 3 divisions exactly who's in each, but definitely, like, I can't say that you guys will both beat Big Whoop. Like, that's...
Yeah, Justin has always shit on my
That's
division
a
because
strong
I've always
3
won it
teams.
until Ben showed up and then he
To-
won it 1 year, and now I took it back from him because he tanked,
I always shit on Austin's division.
which is my division.
I know
Yeah.
because it's Austin's division.
He won it the first year he was in too.
Well, the reason I shit on it is because Austin bragged about being good for so long and how he was going to come back and win his division. I said, well, that's cute. Your division sucks. Because that year, the division did suck.
I think I won it that year.
Yeah, like... No,
Well, I'm all for drawing new divisions.
maybe.
I would love to be in the division
Yeah.
that sucks.
No,
And not the division that has 4 playoff credible teams.
Things will change.
it had...
down.
What we should do is...
To be honest, though, it hasn't changed.
Really?
Like... Because even when Angie was in the league... if she was the worst team, it was me, Bill, and Slimmer.
Bill was pretty bad too, though.
Bill had a couple bad years, but Bill won it twice.
That's true. That's true. No, I mean it is fair. I don't. If you want to mix it up, like I
if
like
we
my
do-
rivalry with Austin because
I know.
If we do decide to
I beat
restructure,
him.
we should do it. We should do it by where we
I'm
live.
being fair.
Oh my god.
Like I said, everybody that's north of this line is in this division. And
But I love Austin's positivity throughout his team being terrible. It is my favorite
It
thing
is.
to
It's
watch
infectious.
throughout the year. Yeah,
it's infectious.
It doesn't matter what's happened and how bad he's doing. He's always positive and it's great.
It is a rough division, though.
In all seriousness, I don't... The whole, like, one division being competitive versus another or whatever, you're right that over a period of time it'll change.
Yeah.
If I were going to make a serious suggestion to switch up divisions, it would only be to put different people in different divisions, so that you have different people that you have those kind of rivalries with or whatnot. But I don't know if it's actually necessary. It'd be a wider topic to discuss.
Yeah,
The-
I mean, it's just the thing is, in the end, I mean, you have the one team out of your division miss. If you really are that good, 3 of your teams are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's because you're
Well,
gonna
yeah.
balance out with your out of conference schedule.
And it
Most
is
of the time.
theoretically possible for 4 to make.
It is. But it's not. I don't
You're
think
at
it's
a
gonna happen.
disadvantage because you play each other twice.
Yeah.
But there's still enough, and then the fact that the tiebreaker ends up being the points. Because if all 4 of your teams are putting up like buku's points every week, then you could easily win that tiebreaker. Because those when I looked at last year, those wild card spots in that middle to make the playoffs, it was more off points than it was wins.
Yeah.
Because like Rodney was only out of the playoffs because of points.
Right, because
was
he moved
tied.
out of his first place spot.
I don't remember who got 8th. I think it might have
It
been
was-
Big
yeah,
Whoop,
it was
but
Big
I think there were 3 or 4 teams that were tied
Yeah, because
record-wise.
that's the thing is like the division winners determined by division record,
Yeah.
but then everything else is
Points.
And it's that division winner that's always going to kick out your 4th person. Because there's going to be a division winner who has terrible point total in a terrible division. And
Yeah,
you're never going to get that 4th
That
team
is
in.
true.
Yeah.
That is what sucks is you're gonna have one division that fully sucks that gets in a 6 and 7 team or a 7 and 6 team.
Yeah. And that is the reason why you will never get your 4th.
It's
First
still
win.
possible, but
Yeah, it could still happen.
the probably in order for it to happen, you need 2 other divisions to suck.
You
Right,
ha-
you
you
need-
just have to have one division that has like easily top 5 or 6 teams that when they're not playing themselves, they're just all slaughtering everybody else.
Yeah,
And you need 3 teams in 2 other divisions to be bad. Real bad. Like, swept by everybody else. So. Is that it?
Well, I've been
You just
writing.
need the
something.
records.
I've been writing some stuff down, and maybe I could read it back to you guys and
Yes.
see if it makes sense. So like, I split it up into 4 tiers. Tier 3 and Tier 4 are the non-playoff teams.
Okay.
These teams are not going to make the playoffs. Tier 1 and 2 are the 8 teams that are going to make it. So we'll start at Tier 4. Just based on the conversations, I may or may not be right with any of this. Tier 4, I've got the shining star of Tier 4 is my Dixie Wrecked.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Agreed.
It's like tier 5.
Tier
Yeah.
5 if possible. Gothic Assholes, also in Tier 4.
Agreed.
Smacked by D's Boys.
Yep.
And Night Wings.
Agreed.
So that's Tier 3.
I mean, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Because like a couple of them, I wasn't exactly sure if they were the next tier or this tier. So
I greatly dislike the Nightwings' chances of making the playoffs, but I'm hard pressed to rank a team
No.
in the bottom 4 that has Ezekiel Elliott, Marlon Mack, and Zach Ertz on the team.
No, he's
It is
bottom
hard.
four he's
It
bottom
is hard.
4 for me.
all right. So
Really?
His number 2 wide receiver is.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, no, I'm sold. He sucks.
okay. All right.
Yeah, no, he
So-
has no wide receivers.
All right. So okay. So maybe if one team were to jump out of Tier 4, it would be the Night Wings, right? Is that kind of what we're saying?
Of those 4, I think he's the best, but
Okay.
he'd be jumping to the bottom of Tier 3.
Well,
I
I'll
mean,
read. I'll read
I
what
think
where
it's
I
safe
think.
putting him there.
I'll read where I think
Yeah,
everybody.
no, I
had
can't
Tier
see the
3.
bottom half of his team, so I'm like, I'm looking at just the keepers, and I'm like, how is he? But yeah, no, you're right. He's definitely in that bottom tier.
So, if there's a player in Tier 3 that is worse than Night Wings, we'll jump him over. But Tier 3, from what I was hearing, Tyrannosaurus Flex.
Okay.
Bring him,
Le'Veon Bell brings him up. I mean, that's the
brings him
Bless
up.
you.
Matt Ryan's
Matt Ryan
good.
brings him up. Yeah. Austin
But the
Eckler's-
running backs.
He's also got a wide receiver problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funchess and Woods.
Christian
Chowder.
Kirk has potential.
Yeah.
Right, does have potential,
I think Justice Hill has potential.
Maybe.
but he's not starter. Right
Well,
now.
and it's also hard to assume what his like. So let's
What
say
his
that,
role is going to be.
let's say Ingram goes down, then you've got him and you've got Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards played real well last year. It's hard to say either of them would run away with the job.
Okay, fair enough. So I think he belongs in 3. I think he's better than the 4 teams we just mentioned.
They got Flex Chowder,
Agreed. I think Chowder's better than Flex.
Yeah.
but is he that low?
I don't know. I mean,
We'll
he's
see.
top
You
of
have
tier
to give me
3.
the other
He's,
teams.
yeah, he's top of tier
His
3.
team's pretty
Okay.
good.
Armchair quarterback
I think he's armchair quarterback. I agree with.
Yeah, same.
and Slimmer.
That's tough.
I never can put Slimmer low because his history is.
But you know
bad.
what though? Something that I've noticed, like last year, and kind of going into this year, his head's not in it like it used to be.
That's true. He
Like
doesn't
he's
have a
not
notebook anymore.
making those crazy pickups like he used to make. He's not keeping his eye to things. He never tries to make trades. So I don't see this team getting better.
So his heart's not in it anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Is Night Wings better than any one of those teams?
Not
No.
yet.
No.
Okay. All right. So
I think bringing the Chowder's better than Slimmer,
okay.
and Slimmer's better than Tyrannosaurus.
So who's the best team of those 4?
What was the 4th one?
Slimmer, Armchair, Chowder, and Flex.
Armchair.
See, I like
Armchairs.
Slimmer's team better than you guys.
Armchair's the worst. I like bringing the Chowder better than Slimmer.
But Kareem Hunt doesn't come back till week 10.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And he
I-
didn't
I
go
guess-
for running back after that, but he had 2
Yeah,
studs.
and Mixon and Connor's buys are both before them too. And the only other person he has is Madison, so that's
Who's
gonna
a
be
backup?
real rough. Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
All right. So the best team of those 4,
I like Chowder out of those 4.
Yeah, I'd say Chowder. as
Chowder.
well.
All right. I'm gonna put a star next to the guys we rank as the highest. We can switch them.
Okay.
If need be. Tier 2, Big Whoop, Tree Stump, Bloib's Blands, and Straight Cash Homie.
That's gonna be tough. Like,
Yeah.
so after I hear it said that way, I will say that I definitely think those are tier 2 versus who we put in tier 3.
So Chowder's not better than
I
any one of those
definitely
teams,
don't
right?
think Chowder's better than any of those 4 teams.
Okay.
No.
It felt wrong when I was writing down a lot of the tier 3 and
Yes.
tier 4 teams. I felt like they were better than where I was putting them.
Not now that you've listed out the teams.
Yeah,
I think
but
those
I
are
think
definitely,
that speaks to the parity of the league.
yes.
Yeah.
Tier 4 is not necessarily all that different than tier 3,
But they're definitely.
but
not
there
tier
is a tangible
Yeah.
tangible thought there. So Chowder maybe not any higher than those 4. Those 4, who do we think is potential tier 1 team?
I like
Gotta
Tree
be.
Stump.
Gotta be Bland's.
Got to be Bland's.
I like Tree Stump out of those 4. I think
Yeah.
just the strength of her running backs and
Who was the other one?
receivers, except
Bloib's
for
Bland,
Robbie
Straight
Anderson.
cash.
Big
homie.
whoop,
A big whoop. Okay.
tree stump, and straight cash homie.
I would put Big Whoop at the bottom,
Man,
then Justin, then Chris, then Mary.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I would do that same thing, except I'd actually put Chris 8 and Big Whoop 6.
Okay.
Really?
He does have Alvin Kamara, and AJ Green's coming back.
It's
later.
hard because they have like
Yeah.
opposite.
Builds.
Yeah, it's difficult. Which one's gonna carry more weight?
See, and that's a,
And
like
I think
Julio.
I'm just valuing running back higher, so that's why I like Big Whoop more than
Yeah.
Straight Catch, because
And-
I don't like his running back situation at all.
And
the
Julio
rest of his team
Jones.
is insane.
And Julio Jones has that disorder, also, where he can't score a touchdown.
I was waiting for that.
Travis Kelsey could help bail him out there.
That's true.
Yeah, Kelsey's definitely going to get him. That's
just-
a big deal.
Those are just my
Definitely
stats
better
from
than
my team
Evan
right there.
Ingram,
Right.
who's the only tight end on Big Whoop.
I
don't know.
disagree. I mean,
like it.
Ke-
Maybe I'd
Kelsey's definitely better than Ingram, but I don't think Ingram's that bad. Like, I mean, I think Ingram's going to be good.
No, I didn't mean that to disparage Ingram. I think he's a top tier tight end this year.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is
Second tier tight end.
Evan
There's 3
Ingram
in the top tier.
and Alvin Kamara touchdowns compared to Julio Jones and Travis Kelsey touchdowns, I feel are pretty even.
Big. Okay.
So using the logic that I was using for the two of them, maybe I have to put you at 8 because your running backs aren't the greatest either.
Yeah, Fournette's
And Fournette
Big
is a
question
question
mark.
mark. It's the number 1, whereas I don't feel the same way about Kamara or... I mean, I guess I kind of do Gurley, but
Saquon Barkley and Josh
I
Jacobs.
personally,
on
like,
Tree
if I
Stump.
were looking at the two of them in a draft, would take Gurley before Fournette.
yeah.
That I would, of all the stuff we've talked about, I think I definitely would say Mary 5th, and then it's real close between the other 3.
That hurts my feelings.
Well, who comes in?
Why?
He just
No,
put
it
you at the
means-
Put
top.
you at the top of that tier.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said the
I said
bottom.
you're definitely ahead of those 3. You're like the top of that tier,
Fuck yeah.
and then
Saquon
I
Barkley
can't-
and Michael Thomas.
I
are
can't
like-
argue with however you
No,
put the other
I
3.
know.
Really,
Well, then who's number 4? Because I mean, all that's left is the top 3 finishers from last year.
Dylan.
And Dylan. Well, that's a huge jump for Dylan.
oh wow, Dylan.
I think I don't know. I'm looking
I
at that.
if that's the case, I'd have to put Mary at 4.
yeah, Dylan.
See,
and
that's
Fox.
what
I'd
I
have
have.
to drop Dylan back down
Yeah,
into
it's
that
easy to
second
me,
tier.
okay.
Switch Dylan
Like
and Mary.
Dylan has a ton of upside potential, but I couldn't put his team
Not
Alright.
that
top
high.
4.
Just
So
yet.
so all right. So maybe let's walk down through it. Better quarterback, Tree Stump. Aaron Rodgers over Derek Carr.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
That's his weakness.
Right. Better wide receivers. I think Dylan's got better wide receivers.
She's got
She's
Michael
got the
How much
Thomas.
better
Thomas?
top.
He's got
She's got Michael Thomas and Kenny Galladay.
Tyler Boyd and
Emmanuel Sanders, Calvin
Ridley and
Ridley.
Emmanuel
That's-
So
Sanders.
he's
Yeah,
got
that's-
3 WR2s.
Yeah, she's got.
She's got a WR1
Tyler Boyd's at WR1. Yeah,
for
100
now until
100
AJ
catches
Green.
last
Galloway's
year.
borderline though.
Yeah, Galladay is borderline, but he's WR2. I'd say.
Maybe
She
I
has
don't know enough
legitimate
about
WR1.
Galladay. Maybe I don't value Galladay enough.
Galladay's he's their number 1 guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd say
Okay.
I would put Mary solidly ahead of Dylan.
And Saquon Barkley is
Okay.
better than like his top 2 running backs combined.
Saquon Barkley's number 1.
David
I say that
Johnson
as the
and
McCaffrey
Devontae. Yeah.
owner. I
Okay.
would rather
Yeah.
have Saquon.
Yeah. Definitely. Tight end. I think she's got the better tight end. OJ Howard.
What's
Jalen Colin
what's
Rudolph.
scary about Mary she's going to be able to ditch Robbie Anderson's contract next year and keep Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. So
You know, though-
she's keeping.
Saquon Barkley I put number 1, but I like Dylan's running backs better overall. David Johnson and Devonta Freeman and Kenyon Drake versus Barkley, Jacobs, and Carlos Hyde would be the top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she
I would-
probably isn't playing Carlos Hyde though.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, she has a running back that she's not playing. There's a running back that's not adding value.
I still like, if we're just talking, I mean, I'm full in.
And I like
Tree
MVS
Stump's better
too.
than Dylan's team.
Yeah,
Running
I'm
backs are
in.
the one place I'd give Dylan the edge,
Yep.
even despite Saquon.
I'm in there too. I'm with you.
I could easily see that because of the depth, but agreed. Like,
I'm
if
actually-
you do it 2-2 and a flex, like 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex, her 5 is better than his 5.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with
Yeah.
that
Yep.
either.
Though
Yeah.
her
but I
fifth is
agree.
a-
His
See, I
running
need
backs
to
are
look at
better.
Dylan versus the others because I don't know if he's 5.
Yeah, Bloib's playing's 5. I'll beat the shit out of this dead horse. I don't care.
That's
I
what
don't
you do
know.
all season long.
All season long.
I'm
Until you
throwing up
decide
my
to
hands
stop
and
beating
saying
it.
that those 4 teams are the second tier, and I'm not going to bother to try to
That's fine.
position them.
Yeah,
fine.
and any more is seems to be liking this player or
We're-
that player.
We're all fighting for the opportunity to lose in the first round.
Right. Exactly. So how so we really only ended up with one switch there. We moved Dylan to tier 2 and Tree Stump to tier 1.
And that leaves us 3 who happen to be here making these rankings.
Yeah, the 3 making the rankings of ours.
just so happens.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
like,
3 of the 5
honestly-
of us, 4 of the 5 of us are in the top tier. How about that?
Is there okay? So what team in the top tier?
There's no
Well-
bias here.
Okay, so tier 1 is actually 5 people. Tier 2 is 3 people. Bloib's plans, tier 1. You heard it here first. All 5 of us, tier 1.
Yeah, we kicked Dylan out.
I
And
love
it's just-
like the funny thing. This fantasy football mirrors real football so much because all these teams come in. We're gonna be so freaking good this year. We're hoisting that trophy.
Yeah.
We're not going to.
Like 3
No,
and 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
no one's gonna get there. Yeah,
We're
because
like,
honestly,
we're like
like
if we're the retired player that's on Sunday NFL Countdown,
Yeah.
Yeah.
picking, hey, my name's Mike Ditka, and I'm picking the Bears to win.
Yeah. I think so. We have 3 teams left to rank. I'm gonna put myself at number 3
Between the 5 of us, we have 4
of the top 5 teams.
of the top 5 teams.
I'm really high on Jordan's team for whatever reason. I like your team a lot.
I don't like the running back situation.
Yeah, I think actually he
running
got
backs
slightly worse.
always where I'm historically weak. Yeah, I feel like my running backs are serviceable, but not. I wanted to get James White where I got Royce Freeman,
Yeah.
and I think that's a slight downgrade. So yeah, it's tough for me. It's tough for me to even justify being in the tier 1. Like, but maybe that's just because you look at your team and you're like, oh, here's all the
So the
here's all
top
the problems I have with
16
it.
teams are.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't think I could put Just for Funds ahead of Tree Stump.
I think that
Yeah,
might be true.
that's what I'm looking at right now.
Because her quarterback's better. Her wide receivers are just as good. Her running backs are better.
Don't I usually struggle with running backs? Is this the first year?
Her tight end's better.
I think running backs
Yeah, it's
are a constant struggle.
Yeah, we need
But
to switch the divisions.
you had
Yeah.
earlier.
Keepers are too good.
Well,
Yeah.
the problem is you've had 2 early picks, and those 2 early picks have worked out to have 2 workhorse running backs
That are rookies.
that are rookies and will be under control for 4 years.
Well, maybe Josh Jacobs will be a bust.
Maybe.
But,
You shut your face.
I mean, it could happen.
I don't
He
want
could
it to
be
happen.
insanely good, though. I'd lean more towards that. That's why I don't want to be in a division with you anymore.
You know what's great? So, like, on Hard Knocks, he hasn't been featured
Yeah.
whatsoever. Did you happen to hear what Cousin Sal said about him?
No.
He was, I think it was the NFC prop bets video or whatever, or the AFC prop bets. He was talking about him to Bill Simmons and said, yeah, this guy's great. He goes, but nobody knows it. Nobody knows how amazing he is because he's the only Raider not being featured on Hard Knocks. Because he's so fucking fast. He's so elusive. They can't catch him on film.
He's the A-Train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You don't want to feature a player who's going to be like the star of your show.
Right.
You're kind of giving away the secret, you know?
And the teams have final say on the final cut of those
Do you
episodes.
think he's sad he doesn't get to be on there more, or do you think he
Oh,
realizes this means I'm good?
I'm pretty sure, like, the way his life story is, he doesn't really want the spotlight.
Yeah.
Oh, is he the sad one who quit drugs because he won a Super Bowl?
No, that's
He's a rookie.
Okay, I was confused by that.
somebody else.
Way to do your research, Mary.
God.
Listen, there's a limited amount of caring I have for football, and we're vastly reaching it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
we've been
on-
talking about it for 3 hours, so.
It's been-
Yeah, this video
Is this the longest video in history?
Yes.
it's longer than the draft at this point, I think.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 hours. It's not
No,
quite.
it's not
It's
longer
not
than
quite
the draft.
draft period.
Feels like it.
Though we're currently at 2 viewers. There for a solid
7.
15 minutes or so. We were at 7.
Wow.
impressive.
Wow.
Yeah. And like 7's the most viewers we ever have had at once.
And one of them was Australian.
Those 7 viewers, that was 7 connections. And I got word that there might have been a small viewing party that was watching this.
Well, how about that?
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
I'm
That is
glad you stuck it out with
Yeah.
a few people.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying here for 2 hours.
That's funny. But no,
Who the hell knows?
I think
Everything that we said here is probably completely invalid. We'll be
yeah.
laughing our asses off
What
in
we need
4
to
months
do
when-
is we actually need
It's
to
all
like
when Tyrannosaurus
we
Flex
need to
wins
keep
the
this
league.
record and go back to it because I don't think we ever go back.
I
to
never
any
do.
of this
Yeah, I
shit.
never go back and look.
like
like
the
I-
beginning of the year shit.
We just know that our predictions are bad, and
Right.
we just don't need to go and prove how bad they actually are.
Yeah.
It is very. I mean, the thing is, we went through all that stuff. We talked for 2.5 hours, and then we just placed the 3 teams that were top 3 last year right back in the top 3.
And there's no way in hell it'll be those 3 teams.
No.
again.
But you got to think that makes sense, right? They made it that far because they had good players. They kept their good players.
and
The core of their team didn't change all that much for the most part.
Bold prediction: Zum versus Mary in the championship.
Ooh.
You heard it here first.
You're going
I
down.
I don't think that's I don't think
It's
that's
definitely possible.
I think that's super possible. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a show about bold predictions.
Yeah, I mean definitely. Definitely.
I like that prediction.
Because that's counting on Mary not fucking it up.
I'll still be your friend when I beat you.
Okay,
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
not
she
promising
beats
the
me all
same
the
thing,
time.
Aww.
but I look forward
How
to the
about
matchup.
Hello.
I think we should probably call it quits on that.
Yeah, I gotta go check on my dogs. They're probably pissing all over the place. Shitting too.
Oh my. Well, yeah.
Here's
For
to a good
anybody
season.
that's still here or anybody that's watching later, thanks for tuning in. Eat a dick. If you didn't like it, do your own video.
Thank you.